It's all you, bro.
Did you start with a burp?
No.
Well, I'm going to start this week by telling you about Elite Rides DFW. You know them. You love them. That's what's on here, is it not?
Go ahead. I love Elite Rides DFW. They're great for the weekend.
Oh, well, the Rangers did play this weekend. Excuse me. It's the first one that came up. The Rangers played this weekend. We're going to talk about that today. Party series out there in Arlington. Elite Rides DFW. Your source for all rides is going to become a factor in your world. At 844-RIDE-DFW, you can book on their app. Use promo code DZ15 for 15%
it's incredible.
off your first ride.
That's what I tell
We're getting
people.
testimonials.
They're like, do you really like
right.
it? Do you really like it? And I'm like, it's incredible. It actually is. It's wonderful. It's clean. It's quick. The dude is so cool. And seriously, you got to tell them you heard about it on the Dumb Zone, and they're going to be extra cool to you.
Yeah, I mean, think about, you know how like Uber, it's nice because it's convenient, but then the guy's crazy and he's like eating a burrito and he's all gross and not elite.
The car's dirty. You just don't know what you're getting. You know what you're getting because they have a fleet of cars. This isn't just based on they're going to let some spare like Blake drive for them, and whatever Blake's drive, like his.
No.
Oh, this car has 260,000 miles. No.
Really reliable though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Back
Cool,
of your
bro.
Datsun or whatever.
I'm actually just going to go with an Elite Ride. 844-RIDE-DFW. Thank you, Elite Rides. I'm sorry. It was the next one.
Actually, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Only I knew, and I was being the jerk by even flashing a look your way. The jerk in question, am Dan McDowell.
I, his little friend, am Jake County.
And I'm just Blake Jones.
That's right. Who will not pick you up in his beater.
When Blake picks you up, he hands you a bottle of water from Flint, Michigan.
We also have Clayton here
today.
today.
It's the worst possible water. Not Elite Rides.
Clayton's running the video, and a special treat on the couch next to Blake.
Wow.
We've known him. We've loved him. He is Michael Copeland.
You know what this is like?
You need to stand up and turn around.
It's like
what's your website? CopelandProduction.com.
You remember
it's just one of the many Copeland productions. It's a Copeland
it's
production.
It's
not
Bob was telling us a story once. I think Dan's read these books as well, of somebody who had pitched a show to HBO and they wrote back in the notes, need more boobs.
Yeah.
So we got a great Bob drop. This is kind of what the Dumb Zone is doing. It's like the show, solid, but there's a little curb appeal, a little hook missing. So we'll just put Copeland on camera. He's not doing anything. He doesn't even have a mic. He's just
hot.
He's just here to occasionally be on camera in a cool hoodie.
So the ladies can vibe.
Yeah, we've hacked the algorithm so that when we feel him drying up, every 20 seconds we slick him up again with a Copeland shot.
What were we saying? I was talking to Blake this morning.
Yeah.
About stuff we need to do on the show and the live stream. Were you like
plotting against Jake?
Yeah, you were saying once Jake's done with his stupid intro, like we should also say like and subscribe.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Or here's the thing we were saying: we're going to put up like a thing, words on the video we do. I don't know what you call that. Where it says like you could subscribe, like this is a free show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want the gold on Tuesday and Fridays and Wednesdays and then the Saturday wrap-up, I mean, there's so much extra value. You could go subscribe on patreon.com/thedumbzone or on our Substack, which is dumbzone.com. Because we never promote that.
Yeah. We don't really promote anything.
Like,
no.
But we're trying to get better about it.
We want to do some marketing and we'll like pay for advertising somewhere, so that's cool. But what about doing the place where we actually...
I mean, it's just because we have so much gold, we got to use the time for that. But, yeah.
That's right. Today we have plenty of sports on today's program. I see all the... It looks like we're an ESPN show.
It's just a little rundown.
Cowboys, Lakers.
Oh my gosh! Right.
That's
Can we talk about like kneeling or something?
Actually,
we can touch the
Cowboys,
ESPN woke
Lakers,
base.
and Yankees.
That's true.
I believe we are going to discuss on today's show. We also have Jared Sandler. That doesn't fit.
But he's kind of a
ESPN.
suit though. He belongs on ESPN.
He is going to talk Rangers with us, and I guess give away a pair of Ranger tickets
What?
if you are watching live.
Yeah. If you are watching live and you know your Rangers history.
Worked out for somebody in the Stavi last week. Sending somebody to Stavros in OKC this week.
Yeah. People really do win listening to the Dumb Zone.
It's true. It's true. So did that satisfy you guys' little plot that you cooked up, this genius market? Like, are we done?
Look, you don't have to put us down.
Well,
We don't know what we're doing.
We don't
We're
have
trying.
to put us down like when Jake's done with his stupid
Oh,
little...
well, that was obviously comedy, and now you took yours to a personal level.
No,
and I don't appreciate it.
My comedy is, have we checked off the box of promotion? Can we now
yes,
get to
we're
Blake's
done
big
now.
weekend?
It's the Jake Show. Go ahead.
We do want to promote later in the week, too, for
yeah.
Austin and San Antonio. We are heading to, I guess, Wednesday, actually. We're going to drive down to Austin. And then we're going to sleep Wednesday night. And then we're going to get up, and we're going to go to the Rivian showroom in Austin.
Space.
Yeah,
The
come
Rivian
on, bud.
Space
They won't even let you in there talking all boomer like that.
in Austin. And I should shout out to Fairlease because they're our exclusive automobile sponsor.
Now, you'll definitely hear more about them in the coming days.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I actually called Danny at Fairlease. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we just go do a show at the Rivian Space, like in Austin? It's not. He's like, oh, yeah. It's no big deal. We are.
How fair.
It was so fair.
It was super
of him.
fair.
He was
Yeah.
like, we're pretty confident in our product. You can mention that this isn't working
ticket.
for a radio station. Yeah, you're not allowed to mention the other radio stations.
Dump
in town.
that.
Like, I think if you work on the Fan, they will frown upon you mentioning the ticket.
Oh, it's not a ticket thing. It's a radio thing.
Yeah.
Program director thing.
It's a radio thing. Yeah.
And then
They
Danny's
all
like,
have those.
yeah, people know there's car dealers everywhere. We're like the best. So, that's, and it was very fair of Fairlease to do that. So I wanted to give them a nod as well. And then, Lone Star Beer is sending us down to San Antonio Friday. And we'll be doing a broadcast pretty near the Alamo.
The Rose. Very near the Alamo. Very near the action. Man.
Very close to a Fuddruckers, from what I understand.
I know it's not sports time right now, but it would have been so great if we had our tech contingent
Dude,
down there.
yeah.
I had 10 buddies that were like, I'll be at your show on Friday if they close this out. I did you guys tell me if this is a dick move or not. Damaris and I used to do this at Mavs games. There's a point when you watch enough games where you know this is the point where if they lose, I'm really going to be bothered by it. If you lose a back and forth 5-point plus or minus game in the second half and you just lose in the Elite Eight, you're like, shit, well, Florida was great. But there's a point in every game where you pass the pissed off point. And when Tech passed that, I sent it to my 2 Tech buddies that I'm in a group chat with. I was like, well, this is the demarcation, this timeout. They were up like 12 with 5 minutes left. And
Who's their coach now?
his name is Grant McCaslin.
Yeah, North Texas.
We got to run him out? Run him out of town?
I think they kind of over.
No, he's great.
Is he? Doesn't sound like it.
Called his son's games at Argyle. Great dude.
I feel like I need to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now it makes
He's
sense.
so biased.
Now it makes sense.
Like, we're the only people left in
But-
sports media that are not.
It's true. Here's the good news.
Can't be bought.
We did. Join us Friday at the Rose of San Antonio, courtesy of Lone Star Beer, folks. It's the national beer of Texas. No,
Keep talking. I'm going to go turn the air conditioning down.
the good news is, while Tech would have been cool, we do have Florida, and we do have Mike Soroy.
Yeah.
So he'll be premium Final Four Calcutta Mike.
It did or I don't know. Did it help that they had a 16-point comeback the game before? Like, don't
Well,
these
they
things
should not
kinda
have been there.
even out?
Yeah, for sure. And some of the shots that Florida was making were stupid. Also, not great to miss both the front ends of 1-1s in a tight game. But in any case,
I
we'll be
was
down there.
kind of glad Auburn made it because if you'll remember, they were the team that fought on their airplane.
Hold on. What's he doing?
What the fuck are we doing?
He's bumping into our lights and our cameras, and
I was trying to buy him a little. I was trying to buy.
I know
him
I
time.
was
I
too.
know, I
We
was
were
trying
both
to-
helping, but he's
No, I left my hat downstairs. I want to get a hat. I hate my white head. I don't have a
Do we need to take a break?
Yeah.
makeup lady like Jared Sandler does.
Are you gonna make Copeland get your hat?
Ooh, you want to go
no.
get my hat?
Do not do that.
Why not? He can just go to my car and just get whatever you want from the back seat.
Service his wife while you're down there.
She would love that. He can't get her going.
Don't come on, bro.
Don't
Buddy.
tempt him.
buddy.
Anyway. How's your bracket?
Uh,
Weekend check? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, hit that weekend check.
Okay, weekend check. This will be brought to us by.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, how about Fairlease?
How about
Fairlease
Fairlease?
Navidad. Yeah.
Fairlease Navidad. Fairlease. Speaking of Texas, Texas owned, Texas strong. They are part of the Credit Union of Texas, which means when you choose Fairlease, you choose Texas. Fairlease can help you lease your next vehicle. They've done this for a ton of our listeners. Heard from one of them. Robert, he dealt with Matthew at Fairlease. Here's how you let them know that you're a Dumb Zone listener. Go to fairlease.org. How did you hear about us page? It pops up on that drop-down menu, and then click on the Dumb Zone. Maybe you'll work with Matthew, who delivered this new Chevy Tahoe right to Robert's doorstep. Pretty sweet deal there, Blake.
Can I jump in? I know that this is normally your territory.
Go ahead.
Okay. Typically, when you're buying or leasing a car,
Unfair.
it's very unfair. But this is not in the copy. But you give them your phone number and your email, and dealerships will spam the hell out of that. What Fairlease
That
does
seems
is they're
incredibly unfair.
the middleman. They will take the brunt of that. They'll schedule you a test drive. They'll get you top rate appraisal, and they'll handle all that madness for you. Extremely fair. Fairlease.
Are we still doing the spot?
Not anymore.
You can end it if you want.
I ran downstairs to my car
We all know what happened. We
and got a
felt
hat. How you like that?
It's a great looking hat.
It's a good hat.
I'm exhausted. Weekend check. Clayton, what'd you do? Anything? Clayton running the video today. Maybe he has a mic. Maybe not.
Yeah, I have a mic. It was a big food weekend.
Fantastic.
Explain.
So I can't just sit here and read r/fast food. I've got to live r/fast food.
Boots on the ground.
So I had Friday off because, you guys are gracious employers and allow me to not have to show up to remotes after remotes.
Passive aggressive.
And so Friday we hit up Chick-fil-A
Okay.
for the smokehouse barbecue bacon sandwich
Okay.
Okay.
with the sweet bun.
They have that?
They have a sweet bun now, and let me tell you, they could go ahead and replace every bun with that bun.
Yeah.
And I would not balk.
Did
Yeah.
we go grilled or normal?
Dude, that's the dumbest shit you ever asked him.
He's never ordered anything grilled.
With the sauce and the bacon, I feel like it'd go better with grilled. No?
Okay, yeah, but you know what would
No.
go better with than grilled? Fried.
Yeah, because then it like the fried texture holds the sauce. It doesn't get slimy, slippy.
Yeah.
You can eat it.
You're right.
And go.
In the words of Jake, I'm just in the dojo learning, brother.
Yeah, come on.
yeah, welcome to the dojo of food.
Yeah, order a Diet Coke.
So
I don't- I
that was
think
pretty
you're-
good. That got a 9 out of 10 on my
Dude,
my scale.
it
It's a
looks
scale.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
I've always been bothered by this. I think the first case of this for me was the Frito burrito. When I first learned that Taco Bell had a Frito burrito, and I learned of the LTOs, and I went there, and my parents like, they don't have it all the time. I'm like, why? It's Fritos. They just added
Does
Frito.
LTO mean limited time offer?
Of course.
And is that something everybody knows?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Michael's shaking his head no.
Well, yeah, but Michael doesn't eat fast food.
Okay.
He's not a fast food beater. All right.
All right.
All right. So then.
But the point is, if they've got the capabilities for that bun, you cannot tell me that the overhead for having that bun there all the time is so much so as to make it exclusive. There's no reason. It's just because they want to keep you wanting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would, you'd sell just as many of them.
Then let's see. Oh,
Put,
with the Chick-fil-A, we did a double up. We went to the Steak
But
and
Who
Shake.
Wants to Be a Millionaire on every night, according to Jake.
We
All
went
right,
to
go ahead. Sorry.
We went to Steak and Shake across the street. Tallow fries are back. Steak and Shake going all tallow all the time.
Is that real? I saw that they were claiming that, but let's see.
I could taste the difference.
It says, now 100%.
And
That's
they
a
were
solid
really
move.
good.
Did you got your fries from Steak and Shake?
So I went to Steak and Shake, got a small fries, went across the street, ran through the drive-thru with my app, I got the sandwich, went home,
That's living life right there.
built myself a meal.
That's living life right there.
That was Friday. So Saturday,
Oh, we're on Friday.
yeah,
So, by the way,
Jesus
Dan,
Christ, how long is this going to be?
They didn't used to always have the Doritos Locos Taco. It was a limited time deal. Then they said, what if we just allowed people to get it all the time? And now people only want that.
It's the
and
most
they
popular.
still sell it.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to argue.
so Saturday we hit up the
Culver's.
did the same thing, went to Jack in the Box, tried the new smash hamburger.
See, this is interesting because I famously will go to 3 different places for. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go one place for me, one place for my wife, one place for my daughter, and then bring it home. Clayton goes to 3 places for himself in one meal.
Yeah, it's a life I definitely do not identify with, but I'm enjoying hearing about it. So, all right, we start out with the smash burger. from
Yeah,
Jack.
just the regular Jack smash burger with the Jack sauce.
Uh-huh.
That was an 8 on 10.
Jack sauce, man.
Wasn't that great, but it was,
Sounds
the
a little
Jack
dirty.
sauce really set it off.
They really have something called Jack sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just every homemade.
Yeah, but they know
dressing,
what what
whatever.
they're doing.
Yeah, they
Is
have
it
a sandwich.
salty?
Yeah, they have a sandwich called the Buttery Jack.
It's the least.
But they
healthy-
call it Jack sauce.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
the least.
You don't
healthy
understand that means...
Come.
Yeah,
Okay. But they're aware of that, too?
but it's Jack
We
in the
all know
Box.
this?
It's
It's Jack in the
Chick-fil-A
Box,
sauce.
bro.
It's Taco
They got a
Bell
Munchies
sauce.
box.
I know they have Taco
but
Bell
he's
sauce,
saying,
but
why
they're-
don't they call it, tangy sauce? They
Because-
call it because it sounds like cum.
I know, but it's a
And you'll
restaurant.
remember it because it sounds like, because they do stoner commercials.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
Jack in the Box is for the bros.
it kind of is.
And then we swung by the Taco Bell across the street.
This guy.
Jesus
you think
Christ,
he's-
what are we doing
Is
here?
Dan in the meeting like, guys? We can't call it Jack sauce. That means cum.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, is that them on purpose
Yeah, what
doing
if people
that?
protest
Is it because Dan was in their meeting, and I can't believe it? They're letting a Dan in their meeting. It's wrong.
The Dan's won in that meeting.
Yeah. All right, so what'd the Bell have to offer? What are we doing?
What are we
Cantina
doing?
chicken.
They're good.
No. Street chalupas.
Yeah.
Cantina chicken street chalupas. Good flavor, good crunch, good overall look, but the PPB was way off on these. That's a price per bite, Dan.
Yeah.
So the PPB was $1.50 per bite.
That's extremely
Another way
inefficient.
to term this is portion size,
Yeah, these are little guys.
but I guess I'm old school. PPB is for the kids.
It's Moneyball.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
So yeah, for $6,
Babbitt.
that's not really what I'm looking
That's
for at
not
Taco
good.
Bell.
$6?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
for two small ones. Not what I'm looking for at Taco Bell. And then I had to try the. This was Sunday. Jack.
Jesus Christ! How?
Jimmy John.
said he had
I
a
didn't get
food
to do a
weekend.
weekend check last week.
Okay.
ooh.
Jimmy John's tried the toasted sandwich.
And?
They need to. Their bread's not made for toast.
You know what? I thought about that. As soon as
It's
I
hard,
saw
it's
the
a hard,
news.
It's hard bread, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had a regular sandwich at Jimmy John's? They'll do it. Like
No.
a regular wheat bread sandwich.
No, what am I, a communist?
I think I just tried it once. Like,
even
shit,
knew
I
they
didn't
would
know
have
y'all
that?
make that.
Yeah.
There's a picture of it up there, but yeah, that can toast. But the regular French bread,
Like, once you just get
This
your
is-
burger on 2 pieces of lettuce,
I don't even think that's.
which I've done.
I know, but I don't
It's
even
gay.
think that's that healthy.
Well, I mean, you're taking away the bun. You're
I
taking
know,
away
but
carbs.
a little bread every now and then is not going to kill you, Derek, right? You can eat
I don't know.
But no, I do
Carbs
know.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants next?
I don't know how to even begin to follow
Yeah, that's tough to follow.
that. My weekend was pretty suburban guy generic, and I effing love it. I love the weekend so much now, dude. So much done.
Kids sports.
Kids sports, kid birthday party. We had TC's daughter's birthday.
10:30, right?
10:30.
How'd it go?
Clockwork. I was out of there at 12:15. I was home at 12:45. My son was asleep at 1.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
And it's amazing. You just can't beat it.
Everybody does the 2 p.m.er, which is like the worst time because now everybody ate a bunch of pizza and cake, but now so you don't want dinner.
It needs to be 10:30
and then
or
your whole
honestly
day
like
is kind of
4.
shot.
Yeah. 10:30 is great if you can pull it off. So we had that. We had soccer Saturday. That was super fun. I am a yelling dad, but not a aggressive dad. I am a Nora. Like I'll look at when they're gonna do like a goal kick, right? I feel like all you really need to teach your kid is get away from the ball. So I would yell like Nora, back up, back up, back up. This way, stop. But I'm not yelling beyond that.
You're not coaching yet, huh?
No, but I did talk to the lady just because the other team, the 2 teams we've played so far had like 3 coaches and clearly practice a lot. Like
And your team has one coach.
has one coach,
Yeah.
and she was there trying to get the roster together.
It's nice to have a
Our
couple
team's
of
just
assistants.
kind of standing around while their team's running through this or that.
So you're going to be an assistant.
I think I told her like I would try to help. There's another guy.
That's good. That's your gateway.
Yeah, no, and I'm not totally opposed to it.
Because I did that, and that's what got me in the next year. I ended up being.
Your girls are also we're kind of athletes, and I don't know about Nora, so it may wash out on its own. But no, we damn.
But you got to get a little experience with Nora, and then
for the boy,
when the boy gets going,
make my mistakes for the real for the prime time.
Yeah,
the real deal. I guess I'll hop on r/fast food too because you guys know I'm a big pizza guy. Domino's is going stuffed crust for the first time in their history, and I gave it a run Saturday night, and it delivers.
How can you mess up stuffed crust?
Papa's was not good, dude.
Oh, really?
No, Pizza Hut's like the original. But Domino's has never taken a crack at it.
That's certainly. You don't feel this is idiocracy?
Stuffed crust?
I mean, come on.
No, I don't.
Look, this thing is the most unhealthy thing you can ever eat.
That's really not like.
What if we somehow added like another 1,000 calories of cheese?
Well, the thing is, you eat less of it. Like
I don't know. I probably don't.
You just get full faster. But either way, they nailed it.
I got to eat 4 pieces. Yeah.
They did nail it, is what I'm telling you.
Well, congratulations to you.
Worked. I tried watching Chelsea Handler's new special because I care about women. And it was my wife's turn. And as usually the case, about 20 minutes in, my wife was like, this blows. I'm like, I know. I knew that when you
said,
this.
Let's watch Chelsea Handler.
I mean, I think she's done funny. She's had a funny career, for sure. But
Didn't she nail 50 Cent?
Quite a few people, yeah.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was with some Asian comedian, right? Or maybe he's not Asian. Joe Coy, is he Asian?
Nobody
Filipino?
knows.
Did he do the Oscars or something where he bombed pretty hard?
Oh, is that right?
Golden Globes or something?
Well,
I think that's why I
he's
remember
a
his
little
name.
fella. He's a little fella, and so you can do jokes about where his penis will fit and 50 cents won't. I watched one episode of the new Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg joint, The Studio, and I think I'm in. It's a little bit wanky, like it's a little bit curb in that they're like, look at all these famous people we know. We'll have Martin Scorsese in the pilot. But I think it's really well done. And, Seth Rogen and like Jonah Hill and all that got kind of weird over the last 10, 15 years. Like, what are they about? And
so is it a show where Seth Rogen is just Seth Rogen?
No, he's an executive trying to make a show.
Oh.
But a lot of people are themselves. But this felt like it was back to it and it looks awesome. Like
so
it's
like
shot real frenetically.
Arliss, updated Arliss?
Kinda.
Okay.
But it's cool. I think it has real potential. And it's like it looks great.
I saw John Mulaney has like a new show. Have
yeah.
you seen that?
No.
It's like a talk show on Netflix.
He like travels somewhere and does an interview, right, or no? He just does.
Like, it looks like a talk show.
It's
like
just, it's live. Yeah, TC was
3
telling me
people
about
on
that.
it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, every Wednesday I think it drops.
Worked in the yard. I don't know. Are you like when you track your activity? I don't know what you track besides steps.
I just kind of look at steps.
But for me, Saturday and
That's my
Sunday
batting average.
are by far my highest activity days, like by a factor of 120% or 20%, I guess.
Yeah, because you're not sitting in here all day.
But at home, I just never stop moving on the weekend.
Yeah.
With kids, you're just always moving.
It's really weird
I love
because
it.
as you get into that, you're going to wonder, like, what did we do before we had kids?
Yeah.
I know what I did. It sent me away for
Make
a month.
kids? Yeah.
No, we would we would meet at the bar at 3:00 every Saturday and watch sports with our friends, and then roll that into a night out.
Just get hammered.
Yeah, just hang out all day. Find somewhere to watch sports and hang out all day.
And then once your kids get too old and actually
What do I do?
no, then you're wondering, how did I fit it? Because I'm real busy.
Hey, dude, my dad's the same way.
All weekend. I am jam-packed. How did I fit a whole day of just going to a softball tournament or whatever?
And I know it gets worse.
The whole Friday night of prepping our lineups.
I know it's going to turn into a beating, but for now,
no, I don't think it's a beating. I think it's great.
it's pretty kick-ass, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Blake? Or do you want to go last? I know you usually do. You like hitting cleanup.
I don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
Kind of similar to Jake. Just Brooks gymnastics, nephew t-ball, whatever. Squared away Sunday. It's all kind of the same now. But to spice it up a little bit, why don't we?
Uh-oh.
What are we doing?
Are you not playing? Do we have a new song for the handoff?
Oh, you want a new handoff? Let me see. I think we do. We have a variety of new songs, actually, for the handoff.
Well, while we wait.
Oh.
The handoff.
Every time.
So, we have some subby submissions.
Okay.
I'll do one per, so why don't we do this one? As a fellow transitioning mid-30s run-the-ball guy, it pisses me off when restaurants force you to scan a QR code to look at their menu. Why don't you print off some pieces of paper, you cheap Fs?
Yeah, that's it's one that if we were to make the list of misguided directives from the pandemic, right next to you've got to throw the baseball out after someone touches it in an MLB game, would probably be QR code menus. Printing things is cheaper than air. Like you just print the menu. It's very frustrating.
I get it. It's easy to just scan it, and there's no handling of the menus, which is not a big deal. But then it's just everyone is on their phone.
Exactly.
And you
go to dinner to not do that.
Right.
And it looks, it's for me especially because if we're going to try to not get the phone out so the kid doesn't see it, well, now I've got to stare at my phone for the first 8 minutes after we sit down to scroll through. Wife's looking at a wine list, which takes forever. And it's a beating. It's a bad bid. It can't be saving them that much money.
No. And it'll put me on my phone, but looking at the menu is how I get out of having to talk to my wife. And I'm still deciding. Let me still look.
Yeah,
hold on. I'm just still looking.
Can I
and
tell
if
you
it's on
one
my
of the-
phone, then I feel bad. But if it's a menu, for some reason, it doesn't make me feel that bad.
You're right, but here's the problem. You have to find the perfect midpoint where you can look at your menu long enough to not have to talk to your wife, but also the waiter doesn't think that you're still looking at the menu and misses you on their pass.
There's a game to play there.
Thereby adding 10 minutes to your meal.
So Adam, I'm with you.
That's a bad bid.
Yeah, let's get rid of the QR code.
Well, you know who hates that is my dad. I've seen him melt
The
down.
handoff.
So a part of the weekend
Robot menu.
was I took Brooks to the playground, just a neighborhood playground, park, what have you. And he was getting along great with the other neighborhood kids. They were playing, whatever, doing their thing. And then the sun is starting to go down, and then the teenagers show up.
Oh, no.
I kind of get what they're doing. You want to smoke pot? You want to finger each other? I don't know what you want to do here. But they're little kid. You got to wait till dark, man.
Yeah, dark's later now.
And then the kids are weird around the bigger kids, and it just kind of ruined it. Then all the little kids had to go home. But I didn't like that.
What time was it? Like, how close to night were we?
Oh, it was setting, so it's probably 7-ish.
That's not your time anymore.
There are rules now.
I think it's 7 o'clock
I thought it was dark.
on a weekend night. That's time for a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
or a
unwritten
3-year-old to
rules
be at
might
home.
be 5 o'clock. You're out of there.
5?
Yeah.
A lot of sunlight left.
Well, not everybody's
Just run the ball, guy.
Well, it's also not everybody's toddler goes to bed at 11:30 after the Tonight Show
Well,
like yours does.
You're right.
After he catches the B block of SNL.
Some of that is wife is nurse. She doesn't get home until like 9. So if I'm home by 7, then what do? I just wanted to milk all the sunlight I could.
Well, then there is a small
And then I
chance
smelt these kids coming.
that your son is going to know what swag smells like because they're going to be smoking nickels. God, did you hit him with like? Did they roll in and you were like, "Saw it"? You
No.
try to relate it all?
No, I told them to pull their damn pants up. All right, then let's do one.
I can't tell which one of you is the boys or the girls anymore.
The handoff.
We got to do something about these morning routine videos.
Oh man, I was wanting to make one.
Do you know what these are, Dan?
I bet Copeland.
I
has
saw
some of
one
that in his
flying
game.
around last week.
It's all that my feed is because I follow all the guys who actually do that stuff.
So,
Yeah.
like what?
There's mouth tape sitting in my Amazon cart right now.
Dude,
I've been staring at it for 3 months.
So is it just how to make your smoothie and
It's just how to lock in.
it's just
how to be an alpha male?
the
Yeah.
day in
and
the life
all that
of
you've
a-
done before 10 a.m.
Yeah,
10.
you've done more in a day than most people do before they get up. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could probably.
There's a lot
help
you
me
got to
there.
do. You got to do red light therapy. You got to do ice. You got to stretch. You got to dip your face in lemons.
All these people are at the gym at 4:30 in the morning, and they're just whatever.
Oh, I think Jeff said he did that. You know, Jeff Frink, our website guy.
He does what?
Well, tell them that
He saw one of those videos. We were talking about this last week. He saw one of those, and it was like a dip your face in lemon water. And he's like, felt pretty great.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Well, tell them I'm done with morning routine videos.
Okay.
And I just wrote a little thing here for those that are interested.
There are
in
some
doing
funny
some.
ones, though. Like, I saw one of
The Rizzler.
the Rizzlers was not funny, but I saw, and again, it's only okay because the guy was Indian. I saw a guy doing like Indian guy morning routine. It was just super shitty. It was like the water he was brushing with wasn't that clean.
Was that the
He was-
point where he's trying to be
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah, like
but
he
that's-
couldn't get the tape off his mouth. Like the suit he put on for work, he was clearly like a telemarketer, like a scam. It was funny.
I like making fun of the guys for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, let's do one.
Like Dan's is just you have to time lapse a full hour of Wordle and
Oh, yeah.
words with friends and
Yeah, and it's all in my bed.
yeah, the clock just runs.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, here's Establish the Run guy's thoughts on morning routine videos. You didn't wake up at that time. You woke up 5 minutes before that to set up your gay little phone on your gay little tripod.
It's true.
You could have brushed your teeth 3 minutes ago if you didn't have to angle your shot to not be in the mirror reflection. Oh, let me bang out 4 push-ups to make people think I did 100. Let me film myself driving. That's real safe. I bet my coworkers love me impromptu filming them. Then let me play everything in 2 times speed to make it seem like I got a lot done today. You know what's missing from all of that? Other human interaction.
Yeah.
Actually doing work at your job. Things that are actually important in life.
There's not a whole lot of that.
And to the dudes that do this, the only reason this became popular is women started doing this, and it was nice to watch their morning routine in their bra. Not gonna lie to you. Brushing their teeth in their bra,
That feels
working
like a
out in their
personal
sports
opinion.
bra, that's fantastic. But if you're a guy and
That's
think people
fantastic.
actually care about your day and routine, you aren't an influencer, you're a fag.
Oh my goodness!
So he doesn't want that to be the close? Like, what are we doing here?
I mean,
Beehive Productions.
How did you not want to close out, and I have to now follow up
yeah, what'd you do?
the handoff? Like, yeah, I watched a show, and
Walked around lawn and garden again.
yeah, I got 10,000 steps in yesterday. Well, I do have a weekend check. In that, we're assembling a list of things that are back, and I wrote on my list Chris Beard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it's because of the change in culture or whatever, but Chris Beard's back.
I'm happy to pad our list, but the guy wins a lot of basketball games, so the SEC, somebody was always going to
Yeah.
turn.
Does that chick that he hit win lots of basketball games?
No. So
Well, there you
they're
go.
willing to turn their eye
She
to
probably
that
just wants
behavior.
pub for a book or something.
Well, she broke his glasses.
Yeah, I was going to say, the joke is not really there anymore, but you guys kept.
Well, anyway, you may remember I was not looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah. We're all very.
And there was a
waiting
countdown
with
in my
bated
head.
breath for your wife engagement event.
Right. I had to go to her work event, which she works for a school, Westlake Academy. And it was the Westlake Academy / Town of Westlake employee celebration. So apparently they have an annual thing. I guess Westlake Academy is a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
And the town of Westlake is a small town. And so they kind of combine. Like, everybody knows everybody. So, like, the mayor was there. And the fire chief and the police chief. And so they would give, like, well, there was like a little awards ceremony. And they had like an awards ceremony for service throughout the town. And then they also had an awards that, so someone who's like with the fire department came up and spoke on that. And then somebody from the school came and spoke on, gave out some awards for the school workers. Cash bar, to which my wife heard all of their beer options. And she went Lone Star Beer.
Nice.
I was very
Nice.
proud of her. Yeah.
All right.
And I said, "You sure you don't want the blue?" She goes, "I like the taste of the red better." So
Hell
she's
yeah.
with Run the Ball guy.
Yeah, no.
She did
I
not
like
go
that.
Lone Star Light.
It's perfect. She rides the lawnmower and drinks the red can
And complains about prices.
and just dominates Blue Can Dan, who's a gentle lover who'll make sure that.
So cash bar, there was buffet dinner,
What are we looking at?
enchiladas, chicken or cheese. So I loaded up on some cheese, rice, beans, chips,
Solid.
the regular.
I prefer that.
Yeah. This was at a private event room, which is not attached to, but it's like across the lot from. It's on the lot of Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
It's called 81 Club. You ever been there?
I have. I might have
been
been
to this
called
club?
something else at the time, but I have definitely been in that small room.
So she tells me this about a half hour before we're going to leave. And that's a lot of, conjecture on when we're going to leave because, I'm like, look, I'm happy to get anywhere really early because I want to leave early. And so a lot of negotiation and back and forth because the time scheduled was only 6 to 10. It's not like this is an all-night affair. But
That's
still,
a long time.
But still, I'm working on trying to get out of there before I'm even there.
Sure.
So she sends me the flyer like a half hour before we're going to leave. Saddle up for an unforgettable night.
It's Western themed.
Because it's at Billy Bob's. Fun-filled evening lined up with music, delicious food, activities, and awards show to show our heartfelt appreciation for all that you do. Here's the real kicker. When you join us for the celebration, you get free entrance to Billy Bob's to keep the good times rolling all night long.
Absolutely. Let's make a whole night out of this night.
So grab your boots and don't forget to RSVP. Attire. Y'all come dressed in your finest Western wear.
No.
And don't forget those cowboy or cowgirl boots! ! We're looking for that perfect blend of Southern charm and Western flair. So slip into your favorite denim, pull on your best boots, and let's make this a night to remember! !
This probably was going to happen either way, but I'm blaming, what's his name? Taylor for this one.
The Yellowstone guy?
Yeah.
Sheridan?
Yeah. By making everybody think, oh, I'm going to put on my old denim.
So, unbeknownst to me, my wife has like a cowboy hat. And we're ready to go, and she's wearing her cowboy hat and her freaking...
Your wife is wearing a cowboy hat.
With a plaid
Sequins
shirt or whatever. And so she's like looking the part. And so I grabbed, someone had given us a Dallas Cowboys baseball hat. Like says the boys on it. And it's got a Dallas Cowboys star on it. Because they thought it would work for the TV show The Boys and for the Cowboys. So I wore that.
You're
and
doing bits.
She's like, oh, that's a good bit. She liked it.
Nice.
And it worked to some degree as well. It depends on your delivery.
I bet.
If you start with, I heard it was a cowboy theme tonight, and so I wore this hat. And they're like, oh, okay. But I found that this must be why you go to the clubs to work on your delivery or how to craft a joke. Because I found that if I said, hey, I wore this, or they're like, oh, Dallas Cowboys, huh? I'm like, yeah, Dallas Cowboys hat. I wore this Cowboys hat because I thought I heard it was Cowboys themed. And like it just gets a little too clunky if you don't lay it out like that.
Yeah.
So you have to first say I heard it was cowboy themed, and then I wore the cowboy hat.
And then you just have them eating out of your hand.
Right.
For the rest, all the enchiladas you want.
So, like I said, there's an awards ceremony. They gave out these, I don't know what you call it. It's not a trophy. It's not a plaque, but it's like a trophy, and it has words. It's a glass thing, but then it has words on it.
Yeah. That's
and I was playing words with Dan in my head last night, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to let these guys answer it, but it turns out I'm not the idiot.
No, it's like a little piece of granite type thing.
Like the bottom is real, and then it's a pointy thing.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of the aggro rock.
Like
from
someday,
Guts.
someday it will be blood stained because my wife got an award for being good at something.
Jesus,
for doing something, and then she, like I told her on the way home, someday this will be blood stained. Like, it seems it's great. Like, she was on a high. Like, oh, I can't believe I won this award. And I go, yes, it seems to be the greatest, a great night to remember. But then, you know, we flash forward to the future, and that will be lying on the ground next to your body, and it'll be blood-stained. And
why?
The thing that would have happened, actually, is that she had tripped coming in the door and then fell and hit her head on this and died. But then I came in later and then picked her up. And then my hand, now they implicate me.
Yeah.
In this.
And
I played this whole thing
You
out.
just walked up.
Right. And who's going to believe that I didn't kill her? They'll just start playing audio from the show over the years. Like, clearly you had a problem with your wife.
Yeah. And nobody, like, even the red can thing, they're like, he was jealous of her. He felt dominated.
Right.
He was yeah, for sure. And even, like, this award.
She made him go to this thing.
This award you'll be, like, jealous of. Right? Like, why don't you get awards?
I already am.
You're barely getting, Talkers Magazine hasn't mentioned you in years. She's getting awards. It's fitting.
All of that instead of just saying, I'm proud of you or
Congrats.
good job.
This seems good now.
Again, I didn't really kill her. It just looks like I did,
wouldn't.
though.
You wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't. No.
It's unlikely I would. I'm a pacifist.
Listen,
And
there
I'm a
will be a
puss.
quote in that true crime podcast about that case where I say, the Dan McDowell I know.
So it's really ridiculous to bring spouses to these things. Because I didn't meet one spouse who really wanted to be there, except for the lady spouses. They're all interested in, are there other ladies that work with my husband?
Oh,
Guys, I don't care. I don't care if
there's a hot piece.
If Michael
they got a
Copeland is working with my wife, because I'm not really worried about if she's getting a little on the side. Like, let's just be honest. We're just happy that our wife isn't with us. Where, the wife wants to know if there are ladies that work with you, and they're very interested in that. So anyway, it's a big thing of I got to walk you around. Oh, but you're their conduit to, like, she can't just walk up to one of her bosses and be like, oh, hey, how's it going? But if I'm with her, it can be like, oh, I really wanted you to meet my husband.
It's a pretext.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do next year because it's going to be a bunch of all the same things.
Let me tell you real quick, though. You never know if somebody's going to be at a job for a long time. But I met my wife pretty much right after she was out of college. She had just started at this company. One of the first things we did was go to her company Christmas party. And I met a couple of other people who were in entry-level positions and met their husbands. And then I knew every year I was going to get to see those guys for like 10 years. And maybe a couple other guys joined the fray that either worked there or their wives worked there. And we'd maybe see each other once or twice throughout the year, but it kind of becomes a fun thing. I don't know about now, but in your 20s and early 30s, and then one of the older guys at the company would find us out back, like, oh, come on, let me hit that shit. It can be fun, but you probably got to be the right age for it.
Yeah, there was no hitting anything out back. Unless somebody was hitting something, but they didn't include me. And I'm upset if they didn't, because I'll join you. So we had the dinner. They give the awards out. Then it's like, go over to the dance floor, because they have like a show it was like SMU students or some such, and they're line dancing. And then a couple of the people from the party who are a bit liquored up just kind of went and joined in the line. Like, hey, I know this line dance, so they would join. And I'm watching line dancing, and I really love choreography. Like, you can suck me into anything with a routine. But if you really look at it, it's very spare. If it was just one person doing that dance, you would be like, what am I watching here? You're just kind of doing this, and then you do this. And then you do this, and then you turn around. Like, you're not doing anything. It's very little movement. So just pick, next time you're watching line dancing, you're like, oh, look how cool this is. And you're yeeping and hawing. And, like, you just narrow it down to just one person and go, let's say that was the only person on the dance floor. I would not be impressed by this at all.
Like, does the electric slide count as a line dance?
Yeah.
Because that's as bad as it gets. If you saw one person doing that, you would think that person was special needs. Like, if you just saw them by themselves.
So when you say listening to Joe Rogan makes dumb people feel smarter or something?
Yeah.
Like, watching line dancing makes you think you're cultured or something. Like, oh, this is a cool thing. And it's really not. It really kind of sucks. I'm playing games in my head because she's doing a lot of talking and I'm just not. Like, I don't know anyone. And I'm playing. She doesn't know that I've done this, but I've assembled my top 5 hottest coworkers of hers, and then I was also breaking that into hottest spouses that are here as well, just to see where she ranks.
Yeah,
she's in there.
Murderable or
she's
not?
She's doing okay. She's still in the game.
Cool. I know she goes to early workout classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep. Try working at it. But we're like halfway through the night or even more than that. And a guy we were sitting with, in fact, one of her coworkers is like, like he's whispering to me. He goes, so am I, is it more awkward for me to just like keep pretending that I'm not like a subscriber and stuff? And
hell yeah.
So this guy must be really cool. Because she has never come home going, oh, I heard you said blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. When she worked for South Lake schools, that would happen all the time. Like, I got in I'm not allowed to secretly record her anymore because somebody came in and told her, oh, I heard you on the ticket. Dan did a secret recording of what you were saying about owning a monkey last night. And then she came home that night, and it was a huge argument.
The good news is
literally very mad at me.
You didn't tell our entire audience, like, hey, this could be a funny thing, but we have to be cool about it to keep doing it.
You absolutely know I did.
Yeah, I know.
I said it ahead of time. Hey, if you know her, don't say anything because then I'll never be able to bring you this again.
I hope
And
the
that's what
dopamine
happened.
hit was worth it. Hope you're a cool guy.
But this guy,
Dragon
again,
Eye. We got a down
keep-
guy here. He's a
he
writer.
must keep himself in the shadows as far as him letting her know that
I like it.
what's what. And then when you're in a situation like this where you are forced to go to a thing that you don't really want to go to, but you've set kind of a leave time, the most uncomfortable part of the evening is 5 minutes before the leave time that you have set. And you're sizing up the mood and the vibe, and there's no chance in hell she's out of here in 5 minutes. In fact, if I can get her out of here in a half hour, it would be a big win.
Yep.
Like, it's not even the time for me to tell her, let's start saying goodbye, because now we were watching a show this weekend that was talking about, like, the Irish goodbye. Actually, they called it the French goodbye. Just leaving a party. And the show was pointing out, hey, it's okay to do this nowadays because you can just send a text saying thanks for having me. And I agree. Like, that's happened a million times with people coming over here for the cowboy watching parties, where people will just bolt right afterwards. And I don't care if you bolt right afterwards or not. I'm at home.
Yeah.
You want to hang out and talk a little bit? I'm cool. It's whatever. But, they want to get out of here, and then there'll just be a text of, hey, thanks for having us, and it was great. Sorry I didn't stick it. Like, no, we don't have to do goodbyes. We don't have to do that. I don't need a goodbye, because she needs to give a goodbye to, like, every single person that could possibly maybe be offended.
One thing you can try, and it probably doesn't help if you're not really drinking and your spouse is, but one thing you can try is do a couple goodbyes and say, I'm going to go pull the car around.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah.
So now there's some pressure from her to be like, my husband is outside, like I got to go. But really, if she doesn't come out there right away, who cares? Now you're just in the car by yourself, chilling, vaping, listening to podcasts, and then whatever. When she shows up, you go home. At least you're not in the fire anymore.
And then we did end
Asking me how it's been working for Bin and Skin all these years. Like, again, man, same as last year. I've still never worked with their show. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
And then
when you guys had JD on it. Wasn't me. Still.
Then when I'm leaving, left about 45 minutes later than we had originally planned.
Which was when?
So we got within the hour.
When did you leave?
We left at like 9:15.
Wow.
Perfect. You threaded it.
We had decided, we'll stay halfway and then an extra half hour. But then, I don't know that I did thread it. We left kind of late. To me,
Yeah,
it was a little later.
It's a little later, but it's not 10, and it's not even sniffing the, hey, let's go out after.
Oh, yeah. But my cowboy hat comedy that I did get on the way out was, and I'm still meeting people, throughout the whole evening, and it was, I see you're a cowboy fan. My condolences.
Yeah,
Oh, real funny.
get a lot of that.
Original.
Get a lot of that. Not a lot of people aware that they've won the 9th most regular season games over the past 27
Okay.
years.
It's really
You don't
funny
need-
how you guys...
don't
really
need
over
to
the
take
last
it that
15
far.
years, they're, I believe, 6th in wins.
What's funny is I knew that you guys would immediately think that was a funny thing, that I was told that. And I was spending 10 minutes on the drive home trying to explain to her why that was funny. Like, I had to type that into my phone before we drove away,
Yeah.
because that was the last thing I heard when we were walking out. So I'm like, hold on, I got to... I'm keeping my notes app all night. And
Sure.
And she's like, well, what? Why was that funny that he said that? I'm like, well, because it's just generic fan talk and like...
Dude, no
he-
spot
and-
worse than trying to explain why something like that is funny to your wife.
I'm
Because
like,
I do the same thing.
I'm like, I swear a lot of people that listen will also think that's funny, and that's why I'm writing it down. And she's like, well, don't use his name.
well,
I'm
here's
like,
the
I
problem,
don't know
too.
his name.
Here's the problem,
I don't
too.
remember anyone that I ran into.
I mean, I don't think my wife or your wife are both like just massive normie dorks. But the problem is when you're explaining why you think it's funny, sometimes like the person that they would think that's funny, right? Like, so your wife might be a condolences person. and you're saying, I think those people suck. So when you're trying to explain it to someone, it's
Yeah,
the same. Here's
yeah. No, that's a great point.
Let me tell you a good example of this. I bring this up all the time because I see Gordon like once or twice a year, and this is all we talk about is Javier. One time on a vacation with my father-in-law and my in-laws, my wife is talking to my father-in-law about my job and about our trips to New Orleans and stuff, and she's like, play Javier for him. Now, Javier sounds exactly like my father-in-law. So we're just playing it, and he's like staring at me like, what's the funny part? And it's 7 minutes long.
Like, well,
Elizabeth Taylor is really attractive. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, Kristen's.
it's how funny he sounds.
And I know
he
the
sounds like a
second
moron.
she starts playing it, I'm like, we're making fun of this.
Right. The reason I think this is funny
And he
is
about
'cause-
halfway through just kind of got up and went and got a cup of coffee.
Love it.
It was so awkward. So awkward. But yeah. Condolences, pal.
So she keep the cowboy hat on later for you?
Ooh.
Yeah, she rode around on the riding mower at night.
From the wonderful world of sports, Radio Sports Scoreboard.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Sports Today brought to us by Qualis Roofing. Were they out at your house this weekend?
Today, actually, they
Oh.
were doing the inspection with the insurance company, saying, "Yeah, look, the roof is damaged, the fence is damaged, the shed is damaged, the gutters are damaged." And luckily, I didn't have to be there for all that. Blake over at Qualis did all that for me, walked him through everything, and it's been really easy on my part getting Qualis to fix me up after the hailstorm.
I actually met a guy from Qualis over the weekend. His name was Mark. I met him at the track running. He had a Qualis thing on his vehicle, and I said, hey, you with Qualis? I said, I'm with the Dumb Zone. He said, man, getting a lot of your listeners visiting their homes via QualisGC.com. Good people over there. They got a couple deals for you. You can get yourself a DZ t-shirt for free if you have them out for an inspection. If you get a roof, they will pay for a $690 on your behalf.
I talked to Brian recently. If you don't want to sit in, I don't blame you. You can get a Traeger grill instead. And then my my offer still stands. If you got hit with the hail last week and you have them out, get a new roof, I will give you my referral fee. So $250 in your pocket if you tell them the Dumb Zone sent you.
What
All right.
a deal.
Damn.
What a deal.
Go Qualis. So I want to start with we got Jared on to talk sports in about a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk Rangers and stuff with him. Would you rather start with a Cowboy hit or a Lakers talk or something?
Let's
I
do
got a Cowboy thing.
Let's do Cowboys.
All right. This is just my Calvin Watkins story that he put out. I don't know if this is out today or yesterday. The headline is Cowboys star Micah Parsons wants to become the NFL's first $200 million defensive player. So this comes after this offseason. Myles Garrett got an extension with the Browns for $160 million. Parsons wants more than that. Jamar Chase has the highest average salary for a non-quarterback, $40.25 million a year. Micah Parsons wants more than that.
What
So-
happened to the whole...
This is all according to this Calvin Watkins story, and I'm trying to figure this out. And Calvin Watkins says that Parsons' agent, David Mulugeta, is that how you pronounce that? And someone from the Cowboys front office had preliminary discussions about a contract at the NFL Scouting Combine in February, which means they just kind of ran into each other in a lobby and said, hey, we should start talking about Micah's deal. Yeah, we should start talking about Micah's deal.
Right.
A person with knowledge of those discussions told the Morning News that team owner Jerry Jones has had extensive talks with Micah himself about his contract. So apparently, agent and Steven maybe kind of exchanged pleasantries and both acknowledged that This is next on the horizon for the Cowboys. Big deal. But actually, Micah has gone in and sat in Jerry's office and talked to him one-on-one about things.
Fly on the wall, man.
So, Calvin writes that. Here's the thing. I should just say this before I lay it all out. I feel like this is all fed to him by Micah's agent. Like, Micah's agent wants to make sure, hey, the message is we want to be the highest paid that's ever, we're going to set the new market. I know Micah says stuff to you guys openly, and I don't want to put this on the record or anything, but I got to tell you, behind the scenes, we're pretty much demanding a Dak type deal. We are not, there is no hometown discounts. We're going to get what Micah could get if he was on the open market. So I just want you to put that in print. I just don't want my name on that because that would look weird, like I'm going against what my client is saying. But look, I'm doing it in the best interest of my client. So, and if you want me to keep feeding you stuff, Calvin Watkins, then
Get it out there.
just get it out there. So, also written in this article, the threat of a holdout is real when it comes to Parsons. Several Cowboys players, including recently retired guard Zach Martin. Let's throw in the white guy.
I was going to say,
Let's-
you do not go CeeDee Lamb right there.
Don't say
You go
CeeDee
Zach
Lamb
Martin.
and Zeke. You got to say including Zach. Remember this guy?
Yeah.
The guy you'd let date your daughter? Several players, including recently retired guard Zach Martin, resorted to those measures to get contract extensions or raises. That's not a big deal.
Nah.
Everybody does it. So when it happens, it's all going to be good. Remember, Zach Martin did it. A person with knowledge of his thinking said that Micah hasn't decided whether he will report to voluntary workouts, which start April 7th. Last 2 years, Parsons has been an infrequent visitor to voluntary off-season workouts. He does report on time, so who made sure he put this in there? He does report on time for the mandatory veteran minicamp and training camp, where he's subject to fines if he misses time without an excused absence. So basically, I'm just bringing this up to say this is going to be the big story. Last year, it was CD and Dak, I guess, at the same time, were the big story. But this will dominate everything. You're about to head into, a week from tomorrow is going to be when minicamp starts, the voluntary. And if Micah's not there, it'll be a big deal. And
Yeah, and I'm obviously a homer for the guy, but it especially with a new coach and another coordinator, third in 3 years, I think he should be at everything. I think they should pay him. I think they should pay him the most, and I think he should respond to that by being there every single time there's a team activity, and just take over. Take over. If D-Law was a problem, which maybe he was, and it's your time, and not everybody's busting ass the way you are, well, I'm inclined to ride with you because you're the one who's an MVP level player. So whatever. We'll do whatever you say. But from now on, he's got to be at everything. And I don't know, different people develop relationships across the industry, and that means they develop negative opinions of people. But you don't have to look that hard to find people who work in football who are not super sold on Micah the hard worker, right? And I think it's a little bit different than Luka because I don't think anybody ever said Luka wasn't working hard. It was really more just that he didn't eat well, and maybe because of that he was hurt some. With Micah, he's still producing at a Luka level. It just seems like there's a little bit of disconnect with the actual effort off the field, not just diet. There are people who will tell you he doesn't really work out much as far as speed work, that he just kind of lifts weights and hangs out. I don't know if that's true or not, but
it's tough to find
nobody's sitting here saying that he works out like J.J. Watt or hell, Myles Garrett, if you want to make it like that, because Myles Garrett is known as a freak, and nobody thinks of Micah that way right now. So the perfect scenario would be that he shows up at every voluntary thing. He becomes the leader of the team, and he's worth $45 million a year because for the next 5 years he's the best at his position and he's a leader. I don't think we're at that point yet.
Yeah, no.
And I don't know that we ever will be.
But I think to pay a guy like that, you certainly want to see leadership. And
well, they're going to
Micah-
do it because they paid Zeke.
True.
You know what I mean?
But they also then went to great lengths to tell you how much more mature he is these days, and
That's true, too.
that he's in the quarterback meetings and he's everywhere.
He's actually working out in Cabo.
I do wonder what Micah thinks about being a leader, in that it seemed like he had problems with the way DeMarcus Lawrence was a leader.
Right.
And will he take some of that on and say, I want to do things differently, and I do believe this or that? I don't know. And I don't know how important is any of that stuff, but feels like it should be. I mean,
Dude, I don't know how you cannot say it is. Just look at the last couple of years of Cowboy football. They got curb stomped in the playoffs at the end of the year 3 years in a row, and the Packers one is just embarrassing. And then afterward, DeMarcus Lawrence is out saying, I don't know, I don't think we were prepared, we were tired, we were worn out. Now Mike is talking shit about that behind his back, like that offseason, like, hey, some people were saying they were tired, not me. That's not good. It's just not. That's not the sort of thing that good teams have going on. That doesn't mean you're not going to sign Randy Moss if you're the Patriots, but it means you're not going to hear about him being a problem. The Chiefs have all manner of criminals on their team throughout the years. You know? But they handle these things. And when Tyreek Hill became a problem, they said, we're not really interested in paying you $30 million a year then.
right. That would have been like if the Cowboys had just let Zeke. What we said at the time. Hold out.
Yeah.
It's 2 years till your contract runs out.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to sit out and not take paychecks all year, like Le'Veon Bell. Sorry, Blake. That ruined his fantasy season.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right, though. It
but
will be.
The Cowboys aren't that. And that brings me to another Cowboy thought I was having over the weekend. Just because when you talk about, the last two GOATs that we refer to, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, because you just keep looking at quarterbacks who keep resetting the market. Hell, Trevor Lawrence reset the market, then Jordan Love, and then Burrow. You could argue Burrow kind of deserves it more than those other guys for sure. But hell, it even happened back in the day when Andy Dalton was given a probably top of market at the time, contract. Or
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill
Jared
got like
Goff.
$100 million once.
The two guys who didn't set the market were the greatest of all time guys. Tom Brady famously took less. I don't care what his wife makes. He took less than he could have made on the open market. And they said that about Patrick Mahomes' contract when he signed it too. Like, oh man, this is actually a pretty team-friendly thing. Like as far as guaranteed money and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So those are two guys, though, that also had real confidence in their teams and their front offices, that they know what the hell they're doing, and that they will spend the money or make the trades or do the right things to put pieces around me to remain a good team and competitive and keep me on my feet. Whereas I don't think Dak, I know Dak thinks this is a clown show, and that they're going to get every last cent that they can out of the Cowboys. And I don't know. I mean, just their recent history would indicate to Micah that this is going to be a long, drawn-out thing. It will take, but you will end up at the very top of the market.
Sure.
Once it's over. So go ahead and go through all of that, but it's going to be a thing. You're going to have to negotiate in the media. We're going to hear about the pie.
Love the pie.
We're going to hear about, Micah himself. Steven is going to say Micah himself said that he realizes that we can't pay a certain amount of money. Like, they're going to do this whole thing, and this is very likely going to drag into training camp. It'll be interesting to see if he would hold out of training camp.
I think he will. I think by the next couple months he will.
Because he's really gone to great lengths to
be leader man.
and to indicate that I'm different. that I realize that we have to be here, and I realize that there's the pie's only so big. But so he said that publicly, where his agent is feeding information to Calvin Watkins and probably whoever else will listen. That
Dude, the second Micah started saying stuff like this, we knew it was going to be a mess. The second, maybe my agent's going to be mad at me. The second that started, he wants to be the highest paid player. He wants to be on a good team. He wants to happen on his timeline. I don't know. I get it. He's got him over a barrel.
I'm not talking about the end of a career. Well, maybe I am. I just want to know, do you really think Micah's going to be an Eagle someday?
Why would you ask me that? Why?
Does that just put you in a bad mood?
I mean, it's just...
You've said it before.
No. I think we talked about the Chiefs. He wants to be... No.
December 5th, Jake says he'll cut off his balls on a YouTube stream if Micah goes to the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not going to, like, play 20 years as a Cowboy, but no. No, I don't even know why you would bring that up.
Because he loves the Eagles.
Luka had a great game over the weekend. We're only a week and a half away from him being in town. Tech lost a lot of money. You know, wouldn't it be funny if your favorite athlete played for the team you hate the most? Ha 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 ha. Also, Cowboys fan, condolences.
All right, well, let's talk about Luka's great game after I tell you that Tito's Handmade Vodka, sponsoring today's program, distilled from the first legal distillery in Texas and founded by sixth-generation Texan Bert Tito Beveridge. His name is Beveridge. It's got a D in it. Tito's is American-made at its best. They sold their first case in 1997. Since then, Tito's has come in a standard bottle with a modest paper label. So all you pay for is the high-quality vodka inside. Look at that. Let's see. I have one of these right here. I just happen to be holding it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Tito's. Isn't that great?
It is.
Simple, smooth, and mixes with anything.
Anything.
Tito's is America's favorite vodka for a reason.
It's
6 times
vodka,
distilled
right?
till it's just right. Naturally gluten-free. It is a high-quality spirit made for the smoothest martinis and the best Bloody Marys beyond the bottle. Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. It is the vodka for dog people, after all. I'm a dog person, and this is my vodka. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn. Copyright 2025. Crafted to be savored responsibly. You think that all went well?
I think it went stunning.
Okay.
What are you munching on over there, Bal? Some pistachios? Yeah. See?
I'm just waiting for the.
He's going to try to tell us that he's eating jack sauce over here on the week. He's over here eating pistachios.
I'm just waiting for the meat stick later.
Pistachios seems haughty.
I know.
Isn't it pistachios? Like pistachios.
Yeah, Jake's a little more cultured than me.
Oh, I thought you meant just the concept of eating them.
No,
because
the
that
way
is
you're
twofold.
saying it.
It's twofold, yeah.
Yeah. It's pistachio? It's
Yeah.
not pistachio.
No.
All right, whatever.
Whatever you want to do. So, what's the deal?
Me just confirming whether or not y'all are right or not, but I'm probably not up, so.
Here you go. It's your own demise. Go ahead.
Pistachio.
Okay. I just had to confirm it. I didn't do my own research.
I was not going to follow up. I don't have to be right all the time, but apparently
He's such an AI
You're
stan
hoping
now.
that-
Like, oh, well, let me just ask AI about it.
AI?
you are.
I am. I mean, my update for you is that I watched almost all of both the Lakers and the Mavericks game Saturday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is an interesting watch. I mean,
You're still watching the Mavs, huh?
yeah, I'm fascinated. Look, if they're going to try, then as a basketball fan, I'm going to keep up with their games. Like, they're going to try. Anthony Davis played 30 minutes the other night. You know, they're playing him more. Gafford and Lively have both been upgraded to probable. So Durant's out for the season. Well, I don't know, but
I love Derek Lively too.
Durant's
I'm
injury
happy-
looked bad.
I'm just sad all these guys are caught in the crosshairs.
What happened to KD?
He sprained his ankle last night, and it was in the second quarter, but they were in the process of getting beat by 40 by Houston. So you look at them, Dallas is 2 up on Phoenix right now. They're half up on Sacramento. They can't get higher than the 9 seed. But if they end up the 9 seed, I could absolutely see them in one game beating the Timberwolves or the Clippers. And I want to see what happens because nobody else is playing 2 guys that big. Well, almost no one. The Cavs are, or a few teams. But just from an interesting basketball standpoint, seeing Anthony Davis and Lively out there together, I was talking to our buddy David Ruff about this morning because he's like my lone guy who still really wants the Mavs to do well.
Okay.
He's in the group chat all the time. Like, hey, Max Christie. And I don't think I am bothered by that because while I want the Mavs to lose, I don't get joy out of, like, AD not playing. I just want Nico to eventually get fired and them to sell the team. Mm-hmm. But in the short term, if seeing AD and Lively and Gafford out there with PJ and, Spencer Dinwiddie makes people happy, then so be it. Fine.
Yeah,
but
after Kyrie, I just have the
that's
most,
the thing is
most
that's what
indifference.
Dave was like, dude, if they come back and it looks clear that they could have been a good team like towards the end of the season and at least had a little fun, you're just going to be thinking about Kyrie. Like, oh, well, this is all pretty pointless once he went down one way or the other.
Well, and you have to remember the Kyrie injury, even though they've bristled at it, is possibly
he was being worked.
He was being overworked. A guy his age with his injury history does not need to be shouldering the load that Luka was shouldering.
I wish we would have played the kid audio because he said, well, playing him 40 minutes a night was not an issue. He stepped on an ankle. He said that was a freak thing.
That's a tricky thing because it is, but also the more minutes you play, the more chances you are to step on something.
But even is it Josh Young?
But here's also why you don't trade Luka. Because Kyrie is old.
Right.
You already knew he was going to be in and out of the lineup at times. That's why you needed Luka. But the point is that the West is a mess after Oklahoma City and maybe Houston and Denver. But the Lakers are at 4. The Grizzlies just fired their coach. They're at 5.
They are a mess.
I would like to see the Mavs make it because that's worse for the Nico and the Mavs overall. So I want them to make the playoffs. And I'd love to see them actually.
That's worse for them because of the draft
Lakers.
pick?
Yeah.
I also think it's pretty embarrassing if they activate Anthony Davis and don't get to the playoffs.
Sure.
But right now
That's
I think they're probably going to be in the play-in.
It's all fun because I'm not really paying attention. It's arm length. It's still sad for me. I can't. Again, a lot of good guys are caught in the crosshairs here. Not my fault. Sorry about that.
I'm with you. And then, the Grizzlies thing.
The
is
Lakers winning it all this year would be the greatest.
Yeah, and they beat the Grizzlies on Saturday night, who fired their coach, despite the fact that they won like 25 games last year and they've won 44 this year.
So wait, you can make a determination that not just winning matters. Okay.
In a normal year, this would have been a big story.
Yeah.
But they're up to 40. They're going to win 50 games this year.
Who was the coach?
Taylor Jenkins, funny looking guy.
Okay,
big
not
dude,
not
beard.
funny looking, but funny looking for a coach.
Yeah,
like, he looks like one of our listeners.
He looks like an offensive line coach.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he looks like you get it. He might come work on your HVAC.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
So they've been hurt a lot this year, and they've still gotten much better. But then I read an article about it, and it's one of those. Hey, they're 33-9 against teams under 500, but 11 and whatever against over 500. They've blown all these games. And the key thing is they hired an assistant before the year who is credited with revamping the offense. So they had a guy, you know what I mean? Like as soon as they fired. But he was the longest tenured coach, I believe, without a finals appearance.
Wasn't there a lot of infighting? Did I see that too?
It's the Grizzlies. It seems like it's always happened.
Okay.
But the other thing, too, is they weren't really playing Edey. And Edey ate the Lakers alive the other night. So I'm not saying there's a scenario where the Lakers and Mavericks play in a series or something, but a healthy version of the Mavs could give that team a problem.
The Grizzlies?
No, the Lakers, because they don't have anybody inside to defend somebody like Zach Edey.
Okay, you mean the Grizzlies would get the Lakers a
The
tough time.
Mavs are so big that
Okay,
they have
okay,
Lively, Gafford. They're like the antidote to what the Lakers are doing, which is basically playing with no big. Sometimes Jackson Hayes.
Right, but it's just like when the Mavs didn't really have any big presence.
They had Luka.
But I got Luka, so there's a chance still. Like, remember, Dwight Powell used to be the number one center on the Mavs.
I know.
And that team went to, like, the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and it's funny to watch, too, now, because Austin Reeves is so much better now that Luka's on the team, now that he's not being asked to be.
Dude, that's another thing that pisses you off, though.
Yeah.
How did the Mavs not get everything that the Lakers had to offer? Because you could sell that to every team. Like, all right, yes, I'm stripping everything away, but you're going to have this guy. You get to build around him.
Yeah, the fans would have been fine.
You know how fun that
Lakers
is?
fans.
The Lakers fans would have been fine, sure.
Yeah. If you give
The
Knecht
Mavs fans
2
still
picks,
wouldn't have been fine because overall. But, yes, had you gotten every pick they had, yes, Connect, Austin Reeves, and
2 firsts.
you got to have 2 firsts. You got to have whatever the definition of every first they have available.
Right.
It can't be, they got 3 out of the 5 they had a bit. You need all 5 because we have Luka here. And you're going to be able to build around him. Look, we did. We did the last couple years. It's real easy to do. That's what Dumont didn't know. It's easy to find pieces to fit around that superstar.
Colby.
All right, so we're going to have Jared in about 10 minutes or so. We'll take a break before that, but that means we have time to work in a little bad beats because you
That's
called
very
for the
fitting.
ball on that one. And
When you're in a hurry.
it'll be brought to us by Lucy today, correct?
Yeah, Lucy. Big fan personally. They're great anytime. Perhaps after said. No, I mean, it's up to you. Lucy.co/dumbzone. This is my preferred nicotine pouch. Great for youth soccer. Really great. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free.
So you don't spit with these, right?
You do not. Nobody knows.
See, that's awesome.
Mother-in-law is like, look at him, father of the year. Meanwhile, I'm double lipped up with 2 8-milligram apple ices, feeling chill as all get out. They're nice. They taste good. They got a little flavor breaker in them. Midday slump, pop yourself a little Lucy. I am a big fan. Keep these things on me all the time. Lucy.co/dumbzone. Use promo code dumbzone. You get 20% off your first order and free shipping. Get a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. You've probably seen some of like the big box pouches. I have actually been left in a spot where I had to use those in the past couple months. I didn't have any Lucy on hand. Lucy is a superior product. So check them out. Lucy.co/dumbzone. I have
And
Oh, yeah.
here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Okay, so the problem here is I'm not positive my organization is great because I think some of these I may have done before, but this one is an all-timer. Stop me if we did it already. Did we do the one about the Bluetooth speaker?
No.
Okay. From Anonymous, which is becoming very common as the frequency of these emails increases.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I both work from home, and she doesn't belong to a book club or have friends inviting her to happy hours, so my alone time is very limited. My wife had a hair appointment one day. The front door is barely shut, and I log into the hub from my phone. The video I click on immediately goes to an ad of a woman obviously enjoying herself. I have the sound down, but I'm assuming she's making some noise. After about 5 seconds of the ad, I click the skip button and onto my selection. I go to turn the volume up a bit and it's not working. There's not a bar indicating my volume level. Then I realized I'm connected to a Bluetooth speaker somewhere. But where? I immediately stop the video and flip over to my Bluetooth settings and see that I'm connected to my wife's car. I immediately disconnect, but it was too late.
Oh, no.
I get a text from my wife, who is still parked in the driveway because she had been texting her mother. Quote, "That was weird." I said, "What's that?" She said, the radio just played what sounded like someone having sex. Really? That is weird. And we never discussed it again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude. I get afraid of Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
So phone porn, huh?
Yeah. See, that's a weird thing is Dan has always said that phone porn is weird. And I agree with him, but he's in the minority. Because guys will hit us up and be like, hey, I have a VPN you can use if you want to, porno or whatever. And they'll tell me about it. And it's only for a phone.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking more and more dudes are running to the bathroom or whatever just with their phone. And it's, yeah, I can see it. Got little kids. You got stuff going on. Let's work this in here. All I got here is the phone. Not everybody has themselves a den
Right.
above their garage or a lock on the inside of that den.
Basically a perfectly crafted
Porn room. I mean, it's not necessarily.
home of Jack sauce.
Yeah.
This one comes to us from Name Redacted. If we're still doing bad beats. I was 19 years old when both of my lungs collapsed and resulted in a somewhat extended stay in the hospital. I am fine now. As a 19-year-old, quote, getting the evil out, as Jake calls it, was a task that came to hand at least once daily, if not more. I stayed clean for the first couple of days of my hospitalization, but eventually I gave in to the desires of the flesh. No smartphones in this era, no analog material, just memory bank spank. So there I was, hooked up to all my wires and tubes and bells and whistles, getting a good hog crank in with 2 partially collapsed lungs. But I ended up setting off the heart monitor, which alerted the nurses.
Oh, no.
And very quickly I had 2 uninvited visitors barging in to make sure I wasn't flatlining. He says the moral is don't do it while hooked up to a heart monitor.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
interesting.
Now I'm going to give you one more.
Maybe
Which
that
part?
would be something you'd want to do just as an experiment. You have a heart rate thing?
Yeah, I remember that's how, I think she might have said it ended up being a joke, but that was Jane Slater's viral tweet that her boyfriend, they had a linked Fitbit account, and all of a sudden he was at 3 a.m. at a 150 heart rate or something.
Do you have an ender? Because I have one, too.
I absolutely have an ender.
Okay, let me do this one. Howdy, Blake. I used to be in the Army, and one time I was volunteered to go to a 3-month training program in Germany to prepare for an upcoming deployment overseas. In this training, it was almost like a practice war exercise where all these military units deployed. Basically, no phone, no internet. They wanted to simulate war. But he says here, except for the part where they had a bunch of porta-johns outside of the camp in case people had to go. Obviously, there would be all kinds of markings inside of them. Quotes, tic-tac-toe, that stupid S thing everyone drew in high school or whatever.
Put some respect on the Stussy S's name.
But there was one porta-john that someone with artistic skill had drawn some version of an anime chick with a gun and big tits.
It's so military.
The drawing was pretty good, but still pretty cartoonish. But one day in our meetings, we started to say how with each passing day, she got hotter and hotter. Then we started to notice that these toilets were always the one guys were using. Sometimes there was even a line outside. Then people literally began writing suggestions on the walls. Great job. Can you draw an Asian with a big ass or something? The best part of the whole thing was no one really wanted to know who did it. We were all just grateful to have it.
You definitely do not want to know for a number of different reasons. It's just weird thinking about your buddy and sex in general. But also, there's a decent chance that guy may have to save your life. So the guy who's got your back with a sniper rifle, you don't want to think about him drawing Lois Griffin with huge tits and like artistically
and
nailing it.
You don't want to know who's requesting what either.
No.
Because I told you it was a bad bit when I would buy that porn subscription for my buddy.
Yeah.
Because his wife would see his credit card bill, so I paid for it, but then he would let me share the password, obviously, because it was on my credit card. But I would see his last movies watched, and he liked black ladies with big rear ends and such, and he liked black dudes on smaller white ladies too.
Yeah,
I just knew this guy loved interracial porn, and then that's, to this day, the first thing I think about when I see him, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in.
You just don't want to know your buddy's proclivities.
Not
I
at
just
all.
imagine the worst things actually for you guys.
Yeah, that's good. All right, here's our ender. This is insane. We'll go no name.
Good call.
When I was 12, my sister, who was 14, was on a traveling softball team. 3 months or so a year, I spent every weekend somewhere in the state at her tournaments. In June of '89, they had a tournament in the Arlington area. To kill time between the two games, my family and all the families went to the Parks Mall. They had a Walden Books. Remember Walden Books, folks?
Sure.
I just posted up there while everyone else went around the mall. On the magazine racks, they had Penthouse and Playboys. I grabbed the Penthouse, went to the back of the store, took it out of the black cover wrapper, and started looking through it. One thing led to another. I put my hand down my pants and got to work. A minute or two later, I hear my mom's voice. "There you are." I stashed the mag real quick and picked up a book on the shelf to play it off. My mom scoped the situation, grabbed the magazine, looked at me, said, "Let's go." She turned around, held the magazine above her head, and said to everyone around at Walden Books, "This is what my son looks at, this filth. And to me, do you want to buy it? Come on, we'll buy it." I went to the register, put it down, and she said, "My son wants to buy this," to the very cute and embarrassed cashier. She took out the cash, put it in the bag, and said, "We will talk about this when we get home." He includes the Penthouse here, which includes a profile of Yasser Arafat,
Nice.
1989. That evening, the whole team and traveling party went to the Spaghetti Warehouse on Matlock. Just as the food came out, she pulled the Penthouse from her purse, held it up, and said to all these 14 to 16-year-old girls at the table and their families, "Did y'all see what blank got today at the mall?" There were the expected gasps from the parents and girls. I bolted from the table, ran into the restroom, and cried for what felt like an hour until my mom came in. I don't need to tell you how much this damaged me and fucked with my head. I had 2 more years of softball tournaments with these same parents, same girls, most of whom I went to school with. It ruined girls for me for a long time, ruined Walden Books, ruined Spaghetti Warehouse, and as
No,
you can
not
see on the
Spaghetti
cover,
Warehouse.
even ruined Yasser Arafat for me. He said,
My God.
my mom was Hamas before Hamas was cool."
Damn.
And I told you guys, I only reply to about 1 out of every 20 bad beats. And this one I replied, "My God."
Poor guy. Can we send him a calendar or something?
I'd be worried about what he'd do with it, little whack-off king.
Don't pile on.
You little horny. All right.
I'm sorry, dude.
Hey, Claire, did you just get rear-ended by that truck and it wasn't your fault?
I did. Cornelius Falcon, what should I do?
Pick up your phone and start pressing 3s, you ungrateful monster.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel and Frankel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel first.
The Dumb Zone.
Oh, this is the part we can plug our trip again. Friday for the Final Four at the Rose of San Antonio. Lone Star Beer is sending us down there. Did you know you can get a kick-ass Lone Star Beer hat like I'm wearing at lonestarbeer.com?
Look how cool my shirt is. Can you see that? Little cowboy on the back?
Yeah, that's solid.
Oh, you got a Lone Star Beer shirt?
Yeah, of course.
We have, is it just Dumb Zone promo code? And you get 21% off?
Dumb Zone 21.
Oh, Dumb Zone 21.
at LoneStarBeer.com.
No puppet.
Okay, so yeah, Lone Star Beer. Great of them to send us down to San Antonio to watch hoops. Really fired up about the Final Four and all the participants.
You finished.
I was just happy that teams were really playing hard throughout the tournament. That's what I really cared about.
Did Blake do a scenario bracket?
How am I in the scenario? I know that I still have Auburn.
You are currently 140th. I'm like 230th out of 358, so you are ahead.
That's all that matters.
I thought I was doing pretty good last week.
As long as I'm beating Jake, that's a good beat. You know, because we do bad beats.
Yep.
We're going to do, would this be the first official Jared Sandler show?
I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
This will be brought to us by Ownwell. Is that cool, Jared? We're going to sponsor you by Ownwell today. You ever heard of them?
Seems like they save money.
Well, there you go.
And given my background religiously, that seems pretty appropriate.
Yikes. Ownwell.com/thedumbzone.
He's allowed to say that.
He is. That is how you
I say it, I'm a big asshole.
can save money on your
And all of a
property
sudden,
taxes.
Jared walks in here with the Kool-Aid man. Did you take a look at the copy on the run sheet?
I did. Yeah, there was a listener.
Somebody had tweeted us that, hey, Ownwell is pretty kick-ass. Record or anything, but I got to tell you. And don't know what that is, but that, he sent like a little note that Ownwell, so I guess you just sign up. What did you say, Blake? You sign up for Ownwell, and they'll keep checking your bills.
Yeah.
And so, out of nowhere, this guy got an email from Ownwell that said, hey, we're able to get you $25 off your next bill for your AT&T cell phone bill.
Yeah, look, check out this little portal. Tax protest, exemption, insurance, internet bill, electric bill, mortgage and equity. They're checking on all of these things. So you just put in your, like I have AT&T. I said, hey, I got AT&T. And then every once in a while, they'll send me something like this of, hey, we just saved you $25 on your bill. And I didn't have to do anything.
So now they could save you tons more with property taxes and things like that. But also a little here and there.
Tons more, like $1,148 per customer.
Wow.
86%. 86% of customers are getting a reduction, and if you fall in that 14%, you pay nothing. So it's ownwell.com/thedumbzone, and they bring us our very frugal friend Jared Sandler.
I don't know if I fit that, unfortunately, but I know I'm supposed to, given my roots. But I don't think I think I'm a failure in the eyes of many because of my spending habits.
Fair.
Where are you?
I am at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, which I will just be honest right off the bat. Cincinnati not on my top 5 list of cities to visit, but I will tell you this ballpark is cool because there's such great baseball history in Cincinnati, and the ballpark does an amazing job of celebrating it and demonstrating it. So I do enjoy that part of it, but Cincinnati as a city is just fine. Cleveland is obviously the superior of the Ohio cities.
Never been to Cincinnati, but I think everyone agrees. Now, just to be clear, while he was in Cincinnati, he was not calling Cincinnati the blank capital of the world, right?
No. You talking about me or you talking about Mr. Brenneman?
I'm talking about Mr. Brenneman. I believe you.
Yeah, he was in he was at Kansas City. Was that where they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was promoting their upcoming road trip.
I thought it was.
Right.
I thought the Reds were somehow involved here.
Yeah, no, he was the Reds announcer, but yes, it was
Spring
training
they were
game.
involved, Jake, but they were not. Yeah,
okay.
They were not present here in Cincinnati.
No, it is the chili capital of the world, though.
Yeah,
like Skyline Chili. What was the other one called?
What
have you
is
seen
the
him
other
out
one?
there? Like,
he's probably done it a million times.
The chili fast food. It's kind of like when you go to California and In-N-Out is so huge, but you're here. Chick-fil-A is so huge. Like Gold Star and Skyline Chili. Like they're these competing fast food chili places, and you order like a 5-way, and it is a plate of spaghetti covered with chili. Like, not just a little salt. Like, it's
Talking
the whole
smothered
thing.
and covered.
And then covered with, the finely shredded cheese, and then onions. And that would be, 3, 4? Yeah, I can't remember what the other thing is. But you can order like a 4-way, a 3-way, whatever. And it's unbelievably great. Can't be really healthy.
5-way, they throw in kidney beans.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, can't put beans in chili.
So
whatever.
So, but it's like chili is the huge thing, and for some reason, isn't it weird how things get regional like that? Like, how come that chili? How come we don't have one down the street here?
Yeah, because I feel like chili's a pretty big deal here.
Yeah, but
what do you think, Jared?
Oh yeah, we're here with Jared Sandler.
I don't need to talk. I love listening to you
guys. Chili is popular in Cincinnati largely due. Okay, whatever. We'll get to this later. Yeah, I've
never
my
had
thoughts.
Skyline chili, for whatever it's worth.
Interesting.
You have had
and
it?
I have no desire to do so.
No, he's not had it.
Oh, okay.
Skipping it.
Well, yeah, they get this huge per diem. They're going to steakhouses.
Oh, that's true. You guys aren't messing around with chili.
Fast food.
You go to places where you simply turn over a card for more meat for you and you and
Nadell
Bassick.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. That is absolutely not how this goes down. Second of all, I just never heard of for every 10 reviews I hear about Skyline Chili, 9 of them are that it sucks, and one of them is like, I guess I'm glad I did it, but I don't know that I'm going to go back again.
All right, well, try Gold Star.
Okay, maybe I'll try that. Yeah. That's fair.
I watched a decent bit of Rangers baseball this weekend, including the pre- and post-game shows on Victory Plus. And I'm
going to tell you this about Victory Plus. Pretty good. I was really worried about it.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I heard some people saying, I'm getting lagging and this and that. I thought it was great, man. You can fire it up on your phone, driving to the grocery store, watching Jared do a little post-game, kicking ass.
I appreciate it. Jake, I'm curious. You're like, what are you, I did think of you guys, I have to admit, Friday or Saturday. It must have been Friday because Jack Leiter started Friday. Our new field reporter, Laura Stickles, had a conversation with Tim Corbin, who is known, people call him Corbs, and I referred to him as Corbs. And the minute I said that live, I immediately thought about you guys. I'm like, I shouldn't get away with this. I got to acknowledge it if they don't bring it up.
What's his last name?
Corbin.
Tim Corbin.
Tim Corbin, TC.
Yeah, Corbs though. You gotta fit in. Murph. What's forgive me for not knowing the guy who's not listed on the broadcast, or the former player that you're with?
Well, so yeah, one of the things we're doing. So Elvis was with me Thursday. I know that's you're not talking about Elvis. I was with Nick Hundley.
Yeah, there you
on
go.
Saturday. Yeah, he's in the front office and didn't play for the Rangers, but played in the big leagues. And we're gonna have various people. Sometimes I'll be solo on the desk. Sometimes I'll have people like Elvis and others throughout the year. So it's going to kind of be one of those. I mean, the whole idea of the show is we want you to turn it on and not have any clue what you're going to get, other than hopefully information and fun. And similar to that just general theme, we want people to turn it on and not know, is it going to be Elvis today? Maybe it's Adrian Beltre. Maybe it's Michael Young, Ian Kinsler, Nick Hundley. We'll have
what excitement.
Whole crew. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
listen.
I want people to wake up thinking about that first thing when they got their morning work.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as long as I know that at the heart of it all is Jared Sandler.
Yes.
I'll let you play fast and loose on the edges as long as I know I have an anchor there.
I want to see you get the scouting director in.
I'm sure at one point they will.
We're going to get various front office people, and Jake, you'll appreciate the numbers side. Which, by the way, I was surprised you didn't like exit velocity. The ballpark, just given your proclivity for data. But we are going to do some analytic stuff as well to help in a very kind of step-by-step way explain why this stat is valued by evaluators around the league and try and help be more welcoming as opposed to divisive and, you don't know what WOBA is, you're an idiot. No. We don't want to do that. Let's all kind of come together. But can I ask you this exit velocity thing, like what? I was surprised that you didn't like seeing that on the ribbon, because to me, it's no different than pitch velocity. right? I mean, I'd like to know how hard the ball was hit. And it's also like, when people bitch about getting an email from someone like, take me off the list. All you do is hit delete. Like, people
it's
act
not.
like it's the biggest imposition.
It's not a big imposition at all. It's really more just that I get frustrated by data without context. And exit velocity is fine because I guess I kind of know roughly what like 95 miles an hour looks like. But with pitching, that's how we've talked about pitching our whole lives, right? Like when
Sure.
oh, Nolan Ryan got the 103, that's like a thing. Whereas exit velocity, to me, without a leaderboard or a pre or post game show to actually explain it, it just flashing up 95.6 on the now I know the term, the ribbon, it just doesn't really tell most people in the stands all that much. I think using it to tell, is this player actually playing well? Like a guy will have like a 300 ops for like a 3-week span, but the hard hit ball, the exit velocity, the pull numbers are higher. I like it for stuff like that. I just don't think in the stadium there are that many people that get a ton out of it. But
well, yeah,
whatever.
Because, I mean, the radar gun had to start somewhere.
That's a good point.
I think Brooks in 10 years will know absolutely. Wow, 115 exit velo. That's huge because all these numbers are somewhat new.
That's very possible.
I do think that you could probably, and I don't know about like the tech side of it, but maybe you could, when 110 pops up on the exit velo, it's like shaded red, which means like that's really good. Or if it's, on the other end, maybe you can do that. But I will say that like, a part of it is, I mean, heck, on base percentage is like a pretty commonly used stat, but there are people who, and it doesn't take them long to figure it out, but they're like, I don't know how you come up with on base percentage. What are all the factors? And they might ask, or like the reason I was curious about with you is you are someone who you see something and you dig like in a good way. And so I think there are going to be people that see exit velocity and they quickly go on their phone, like what's exit velocity? And I will say there is a lot of very accessible data out there that is, you don't have to like have a BC calculus type of experience to understand the breakdown of like what the average is and what, this range usually produces these results and that range produces those results. So if it leads someone down the path, if they are interested in doing a little research, cool. You're not going to be able to fully explain on the video board. I do understand though. I think that's a good point. And I'll actually ask, like, is there a way to have it shaded or have any type of accompanying characteristic to the presentation that will allow the average person to know good, bad, average, great, awful, etc.
That's all I'm asking for is just change it to my very specific whims for everyone who's watching because I made a throwaway comment about it. I want to get okay. I have a lot of thoughts from the weekend, but I thought we'd just start with a couple, 2-3 things coming out of, I know it's just 4 games. It's funny, I wrote that down in my notes this morning. Like, it's just 4 games, and it occurred to me, they just decide series like that too, though. Like, when you start a season 3-1, and you're like, boy, team looks good. It's just 4 games, though. You're like, yeah, but if they were at the end, you'd just say, it's baseball. It's 4 games. Sorry. You lost.
Yeah.
Like, somebody was like, my point is just that
the whole playoff series?
The whole playoff system thing is funny because these 4 games, you're like, that means nothing. It's just 4 games. Like, all right, well, what if we play 158 more of them? But
same with one NFL playoff game.
You're right.
Whatever.
It's just, I guess I'm saying, I think after those 4, you actually kind of can get a sense of what kind of team they are. And Boston. I think those might be the 2 best teams in the American League. Jared, what do you think about that?
I agree. No, I obviously the Yankees with their torpedo bats, maybe they just mash their way to it. I do think Boston's the best team in the East. I think the Rangers are the best team in the West. Obviously, it is not without any sort of competition by any means. We're not talking about the Dodgers, who just look head over heels better than everyone on paper and so far on the field. But I do think they're the 2 best teams, and I think they go about it in different ways. The Red Sox actually kind of exposed one of the Rangers' weaknesses, which is one of their strengths, Boston's strengths, which is the running game, but they just couldn't get a hit with a runner in scoring position to save their lives, so they couldn't cash in on it. But yeah, it was a great start, especially after losing in the 9th inning on Thursday. I know Blake, I hope you didn't drop Luke Jackson as your closer. I heard you make mention of that on Friday.
I did.
He did come. Okay, well, that's okay. And it could be a revolving door. I do think the bullpen will be good, and they certainly were good over the 3 wins. But there might be some shifting in roles and whatnot. But the Rangers won these games. They didn't really hit the ball all over the place. They didn't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play and benefited from that. But really, it was about pitching and defense, and that's another thing that I just don't think got talked about a lot last year with Adolis Garcia, who had a great series, but he was awful defensively. And this is a Gold Glove right fielder. He was awful because he clearly was not physically right and he couldn't move. But I just thought in general defensively the team played really well. And when you're winning games 4-3 and 3-2, the margins matter, and defense is a big part of that.
I thought kind of the story of the series was obviously DeGrom yesterday, but boy, I really loved watching Jack Leiter pitch Friday. I enjoyed your post game with him. He seems awesome. If those two can pitch like that, it's going to be a great start to the staff. But my question is, everyone is making like the Leiter Rocker thing because, those could be the chance for the first two big-name homegrown pitchers that the Rangers have had in a really long time. And I think the broadcast highlighted, they're buddies from Vandy, but I'm just curious, you being around them, are they buddies or did they just play on the same college baseball team? What's it like for those young ones?
Is this a Kershaw Stafford situation?
No, I'm trying to identify
with
with this team because Seager and Simeon are robots. I want some people with some personalities.
Yeah.
And if those two guys are buddies, that would make me feel better about it.
No, they are. I think their time at Vandy was so interesting because one year was wrecked by the pandemic, and the next year they both were draft eligible. And I think there was a lot of pressure, and I think people were trying to pit one against the other. But no, they are good buddies, and they hang out. Kamar lives in Southern California in the off season or trains there. Jackson, Nashville, but Kamar does go to Nashville. They spend a lot of time together then, and they spend a lot of time together here. So it's not a manufactured friendship. It's not a forced friendship. They definitely are close. Jack actually even said that when he was in high school, he looked up to Kamar Rocker. Kamar was only a year older, but Jack was, I'd say just a kid, but he was, a senior in high school, and Kamar Rocker was a freshman dominating college baseball at Vandy, throwing a no-hitter, and Jack, talked about how one of the reasons he wanted to go to Vandy was, because he was so fascinated and intrigued by this guy, Kamar Rocker. And so it is a cool friendship, and I think it's really neat. You don't get two of the best pitchers in the same rotation ending up on the same team right away or same organization right away, because when they're as good as those two were in college, they get drafted in the first round by different teams. So it was a unique situation that led to Kamar being with the Rangers. And I thought that was a big step for Jack. The thing the quick thing that the little nugget, the breadcrumb that I'll throw out there with him that stood out is he was able to have success with his fastball in the zone, getting swings and misses. And it wasn't just his four seam, it was his sinker as well, which gives him an option in the bottom part of the zone with the fastball. I thought that was really impressive. And we'll see with Kamar Rocker, how he does in his first start. If the Rangers stayed healthy, even let's just say one of their two injured starters, Gray or Bradford, did not get hurt, Kamar Rocker's probably starting in AAA. So he's got that door open because of that. I think it was more, though, just an innings management thing. So I'm curious how they use him over the course of this first month. But it'll be a good opportunity for him to build on what he accomplished last year. I think he still has a little more work to do, but we'll certainly find out with chapter 1 of his season tonight.
With the injury, I'm surprised Dunning got let go or just put on the waiver wire. I thought he was a really good spot starter the last 2 years. What was the deal with him?
Yeah, I think it's a money thing. First of all, actually, that's not fair. He didn't pitch well last year. He got off to a great start. Shoulder issue, recurring shoulder issue. Numbers don't look good. Didn't have a very good camp. And it's not just about the ERA in camp, although that wasn't very good, but it's some of the things that you can see that can actually translate into the regular season. That's independent of whether you're facing number 79, who's just coming in for the seventh inning, or, a bona fide everyday player at the big league level. The velocity, the movement, it just didn't look great. And I think that being the case, and where the Rangers are financially, wanting to stay below the luxury tax threshold so that they don't exceed it for a third straight year and incur those penalties, they were hoping by putting Dane on waivers, someone would claim him and thus take around $2.5 million of salary. That didn't happen. So the Rangers, because of Dane's level of service time, he had the ability to reject a minor league assignment. However, if he does, he forgoes the $2.5 million. So he accepted the minor league assignment. He's not on the 40-man roster. He is still getting that salary. But that's really what it was. From a competitive standpoint, they didn't feel like he was one of the 13 best. And from a financial standpoint, there was a little bit of strategy involved there as well.
What's the seating chart on the plane? Where do you sit? I'm interested in some Jared stuff here.
Yeah, I'm a big aisle guy. Now, I'll tell you, we are very fortunate. It doesn't matter if you're aisle or window. You've got plenty of space. I sit in front of Eric and Matt. I sit across from Bassick and Dave. And I sit next to Laura Stickles, our field reporter.
Hey now.
And and I'm a big there you go. I like to we have the setup where the seat pocket in front I can put my iPad there. So I'm watching Court of Gold right now. And then I'll do a little work while I'm also on the plane. So it's a nice way to kill two birds with one stone.
Okay, before I saw that blurry figure behind you, I assumed you were in your hotel room.
No, I'm at the ballpark.
You're at the stadium already.
Yeah, I'm at the. I don't know how to. That was Matt Hicks, the blurry figure. There's Matt Hicks right there.
I didn't realize until I heard you say it yesterday that Matt Hicks was in Major League 2.
Matt Hicks was in Major League 2. Yeah, yesterday was the 31-year anniversary of the release.
Do you know I was in Major League 1?
Were you really in the crowd?
No, he was Serrano.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You're right. My bad. I thought it was Taka Tanaka.
Yeah, I was a kid when they said they're filming a movie, and the Indians are going to be the main.
I'm there yesterday.
Thing, and it's going to be whatever day, June 15th, and so they're going to be taking crowd shots, and so they sold 70,000 seats for that game. Because it was at the old Cleveland Stadium where the Browns would play, and it's huge. It was huge, yeah. And I'm in the crowd, and I am on IMDb. It has me listed
as. Are you really?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think Matt's on IMDb. We actually had someone text.
He's not as
tweet
awesome
earlier. Well, I mean, we knew that. But someone said that Eric Hicks. They had no clue Matt's name. I guess they said Eric Hicks is not on IMDb. So maybe they just looked up the wrong name. Are you on IMDb?
That's a good story.
No, Matt's saying he's not on IMDb.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate the compliment there.
We're just having fun. I was going to say where you are, it looks like you could use your makeup lady to be in your hotel room, but you look very white today, very bright. And I know you now have a makeup lady, right?
I think he looks great.
Yeah, I thought so
I just
too.
thought the light is very, very big, very bright.
No,
I'm just playing around.
Palette.
You have a makeup lady is the point.
Yes.
And we don't.
I not by choice, although I appreciate it. Renee, and you've seen her sitting next to Followell on Mavs games. But yeah, she just one day came up and she stand still or hold still, and she takes this brush and starts powdering my face. And I guess when you do that on the field, then people take pictures, and it's lots of fun. Got a lot of even the video room. Some of the Rangers coaches in the video room saw that, and thank gosh there's not kangaroo court. I think I'd be paying a lot of money for that if there was. But they don't do that anymore, which kind of stinks.
What's the deal with the? They don't do the kangaroo court. Baseball teams don't.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I can't speak for every team. I don't think we've done it since Beltre retired.
What is this? What is the base running challenge thing you're going to do with Dave Raymond? What is this bit?
Well, I've been subject of some short jokes here, standing next to partners who are much taller than I am, including Elvis, Bassick, Nick Hundley, and Dave made a joke about. I'm sure that would be competitive as well. Dave made a joke about how I fit right in with the kids who are standing 5 yards from me getting ready to run the bases. And at some point, listen, I know I'm short, right? The short jokes don't bother me, but at some point,
not at all.
Punch back.
I'm not mad at all.
No,
you're mad.
They
no,
really
I'm actively hunting for a 7-foot Swiss Alps female center to provide us with an egg to offset.
I never said that I didn't want my kids to be taller. I just said that I'm so used to the short jokes.
Sure.
And And so, there's really not a lot on Dave that I can say that would be appropriate for air. And so the only thing I think of is, he's older than I am, and but he's a former track athlete at Stanford. But I do think that I could beat him around the bases. He's old. We need he's borderline like wheelchair status. So I think I got a good shot.
Are we actually going to do this? Televised?
Yes.
This is part of the new pregame show, right?
Yeah.
We're having fun.
I think
do it live.
Exactly.
So how will they do it? Will
do
they time it? Because you can't both be on the paths, right? It can't be a true race.
It would be funny though if it was like a roller derby and we could like knock each other off and throw elbows and stuff.
Yeah, why not the freeze? Do the freeze.
I was going to say that might be your best, although it's not as dynamic. Running the bases is unstable. I think most people who don't play softball or baseball on a regular basis would be like,
get the right angle.
I'm just going to run from home to first
I'm
and
try
so
and hit
on.
the inside of the first base bag with the right side of my right foot or whatever. Yeah.
No, that you would smoke him.
Trip.
Dave won't make it around on his feet.
I don't know.
No.
Hey,
Dave is an
pretty good
athlete,
shape.
though.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with my generation on this one.
Okay.
Well, I've got two more things for Jared. First, you brought up torpedo bats. I want to get your thoughts on it because it seems kind of sports science, but then also sort of maybe not against the rules, even though it's not. But the Yankees are sure making them look good.
Yeah, so I also just start with this. Other teams have players who use or have tried similar models, right? So it's not like the Yankees are the only team with players who have used it. They definitely are the most prolific in terms of, Aaron Lenhart, who's kind of the guy who's getting credited for developing this. He was with the Yankees, now with the Marlins. There are more Yankees probably than any other team. I actually plan on asking a bunch of our guys today, whether they use it. I don't believe any of them do. So it's not like just incredibly prevalent, but it's not the first time that a player's used it. With all that said, it's surprising to me that it's taken this long for baseball to have something like this. I mean, the simplest comparison I can make is, and I don't really play golf, but I know that Blake, have you gotten a club fitting, right? Like, I know that's a big thing, even for amateur golfers. Like, you don't even need to be a competitive golfer, and some will get a club fitting, which is intended to optimize your ability to contact the ball based on your height and your arms and just your biomechanics and whatnot. Well, this is, these are guys who have the opportunity to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's surprising to me that we've always just been okay with the fact that the player has to fit to the bat as opposed to creating a bat that fits to the player in this regard. So, it is within the rules. The wood distribution does not violate any of the rules. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see, I don't want to be so dramatic and say this is going to take over Major League Baseball, but I mean, it stands to reason that if I'm a hitter, I want to understand where I naturally make contact and how to optimize that with my weapon, as opposed to having to make these adjustments to fit a bat. Like when the bat can maybe change a little bit easier than I can. So, I mean, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think we have to go to golf, but, as slow pitch softball guy, I mean, we've been using in-loaded bats for a long time because that's where you hit the ball. Don't you want the most weight in the barrel?
I just assumed that the bat was the bat because they had decided that's what the bat had to be. And the first time I thought about this, Jared, was when you guys were calling a spring training game and the White Sox had an Asian guy who had like a reverse weighted bat. Where all of the weight was down by, and I thought, I guess you can just do that. You can just change the weight distribution of the bat. As a non-baseball player, I just assumed the bat was the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are rules about the diameter. It can't exceed a certain diameter and it can't exceed a certain weight. But there's nothing in the rule book about the distribution and stuff. And I think you guys even talked about there are guys who have different knobs, and that's counterbalance, counterweight, stuff like that. Evan Carter used that, I think, in 2023. When he first came up. But yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, there's no, and I guess baseball's come out and said, no, this is perfectly legal. So, I mean, this is like the most, I don't know, in football, the equipment, like, we've seen how many different iterations of helmets, like over the last 10 years to protect against concussions. And, we see different, the pads that players wear are totally different. And basketball, I mean, there's really not a whole lot from an equipment standpoint, but they definitely, shoes that change based on a player's comfort. It makes sense that in baseball, the bat, which is the most common used thing other than a glove, is customized to the player's preferences.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and the Axe bat that tried to make its way into major leagues a couple years ago.
Yeah.
All right, are we doing trivia today?
Yeah, you want to kick it off?
We are.
So
sure.
We wanted to tell everybody.
Go ahead.
Didn't we tell them before? Every week during the Jared Sandler show, he is going to give away a pair of tickets to a Rangers game for free. You're going to be able to go see the Texas Rangers.
Hottest team in baseball.
I saw you tweeted this. How much Fire Nico chants were there at the ballpark this weekend?
Hey, surprisingly, at first it was just these two drunk guys beneath us, and they got I don't know, 40 or 50 people to do it. And then all of a sudden down the right field line, I'm hearing it. And Trevor Story, who's from Irving, plays for the Red Sox. He's a huge Mavs fan. So whenever he comes to town, we talk Mavs. He was kind of he's in the same boat as all of us, right? He's so confused and upset and disappointed, but he heard it as well. So it definitely, I don't want to say it totally took over the seating bowl, but there was enough momentum where there were a few waves of Fire Nico chants. So how about it?
Bassick has to be beside himself.
He quit the NBA,
he is,
though.
Except he quit the NBA. So
he just quit the NBA because of Luka.
He'd kind of been leaning that way, I think. And then that was just kind of
that's not going to last. And it's kind of like me saying I don't, short jokes never bother me. Can you really believe that? I don't know. Bassick definitely is not quitting the NBA permanently. It's his favorite sport. But I think it's just his way to deal with it right now.
He's
an
emotional guy.
Bring it up.
He is. He wears it on his sleeve. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Trivia.
Just barely. All right. So we are in Cincinnati, and Ken Griffey Jr., as you guys might recall, played for the Reds after the Mariners. He is one of 18 players in the wild card era with 40 home run seasons for multiple teams. So he did it with the Mariners. He also did it in his very first year with the Reds. Among those 18,
I did not know that.
There are
40, yeah.
I would have thought he was kind of at the end of his career with the Reds.
I remember there being 1 year. 1 year, and it felt like all he did was hit homers.
I would have thought 18 home runs or something. I just thought he was really at the very tail end, and he did that. Well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he had a few good years. That's when the injuries really became a problem, though. But
he's on my
18,
Griffey list.
Go ahead. What's the Griffey list? Okay. 2 of the 18 played for the Rangers and had a 40 home run season with the Rangers. So 2 of the 18 players, a part of the 2 teams in which they hit 40 home runs for in a single season, the Rangers were a part of their combo. So who are those 2 players?
Where do we send our answers, Blake?
In the chat.
How are we doing this?
So today, this might not be the case every week, but today you have to be watching live.
Some weeks it'll be podcast, but
2 players. So first person that answers it correctly in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll get a pair of tickets to an upcoming Rangers game.
Hit 40-plus homers for 2 teams, and one of those 2 teams was the Rangers.
Well, I know one is real easy, correct?
So one should be, but I guess the clue on him is I feel like a lot of people have just erased him from their memories as Rangers fans. So maybe it's not as easy. I don't know. Both guys, kind of. Am I waiting?
I think we do it. You're talking about A-Rod?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my real easy one, is A-Rod. I'm trying to think. 40 home runs.
Well, let's let them answer.
Well, do we already have the answers in the chat, or are we just putting it on a tee for them to type it out?
Let's just do our show. Is A-Rod right?
A-Rod is correct, yeah.
40 home runs is very, not as big of a deal anymore that it used to be. It used to be pretty huge. So it has to be like a –
Dan, I would say it is – it's kind of gone back to that. There really are not many guys. If you go back to the mid to late 90s compared to now or even early 2000s, there are not as many guys who get to 40. The Rangers haven't had a guy get to 40 since Gallo in 18.
Joey Gallo.
Well, why don't we – yeah.
No.
All right, Jared. We got an early one tonight. Victory Plus, the radio.
Yeah, but hold on. I got beef. I'm waiting for. You guys have free reign for segment ideas, as you know, but also I still don't have a list. So, I'm kind of being left at the altar here.
A list of what?
Terms. We don't want to play password with
word,
Jared.
yeah.
I've been thinking about it, but
It's
weird because I'm writing for him, and he's like a good person, so I don't want to. I would have wrote the joke for him that he started with, but I'm like, I can't do that because.
I don't know. You kind of.
I'll let you know if I don't feel comfortable using it, but I mean, you can send a list, and I'll work stuff in.
Didn't you already blow your comedy load with your tweet earlier today about the starting pitchers for
Wow,
tonight's game?
that is put the guy in Branson. I love it. The singer.
You know what, Blake?
He's a Norm. He's a Norm
Blake,
intern.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
you mean about
first of all,
tonight's musical pitching matchup?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's rocker
Blake,
versus
I
singer.
listened-
Yes.
Yeah, I listened on Thursday
What?
and Friday, Blake. If you want me next week to just identify every single error you make when talking about the Rangers and have that as a segment, a part of this, I'm more than happy to, because there are a lot of things that we need to correct.
Did you think the Red Sox pitcher had a funny name yesterday? Did you tweet about that?
Richard Fitz. It was not tweeted about. I definitely made comments asking where the dick fits.
Yeah, that's important.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that on the broadcast, though.
No, definitely not on air.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Richard Fitz on air, Mr. Richard Fitz.
The honorable.
All
All
right,
right, Jared, go
well,
Rangers.
Who's the second one?
I thought.
No, we have plenty of answers in the chat. I want to know.
Oh, okay.
The
So we can play?
Yes.
Did Wando go 40 for the Tigers or no? Did he just totally fail once he went there?
Yeah, he did not.
I'm going.
He did. So Juan did have.
Oh, it has to be Rafi.
Yeah, it's Rafi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Juan had a good year with Cleveland, actually, Dan. He had 35 homers, but didn't get to 40. Nelly Cruz did it with two other teams, but not the Rangers. Rafi is the answer, the Orioles and the Rangers.
That's
All
why
right,
he didn't
baseball Dan.
strikes
Baseball
again.
Dan.
I'm the man. Did you know it, Blake, or no?
No. I thought Nelson had a good year with the Twins one year, but obviously not 40.
Okay, so I'm the winner, week one.
You are the winner week one, Blake.
Yeah, the winner
So
has
Nelly did it-
has to go to the game with me.
You don't even want
Okay.
to go.
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah,
Hey, Blake,
we're leaving early.
Nelly did do it with Minnesota, so another thing you're wrong on. Nelly actually did it with Minnesota.
All right,
He,
to
he
your
did it with
corners.
Baltimore. He did it with Seattle.
Go Rangers.
Wow, never with Texas.
That's awesome.
Go Kumar.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it again next
See you
week.
guys.
See if they'll get you a box for the pregame show.
You're. He's like the same height as Blake, is he not?
Yes.
Oh, news today brought to us by Frankel and Frankel, our personal injury attorneys. We haven't needed them yet, but if we, you kind of don't want to need them because that means you're injured. There's something wrong with you. Maybe a tree fell on you and now you're wheelchair bound. I don't know.
Could be anything.
Could be anything. Could be an auto accident. They deal with a lot of those, and they'll know how to fight those insurance companies that are trying to keep that money from you. It's either 214 or 817, and then dial all threes. 333-333. Keep dialing 3. You will talk to a partner when you get a hold of Frankel and Frankel, and they will take care of you. Frankel and Frankel.
Wow. All right, so this is long overdue. I'm trying to learn from the cancellation era, Dan. What happened to the punt god, right? Guy got falsely accused. I'm sure we were on here or on the ticket like, this guy's a dirtbag. How can you draft him? He's been accused of a gang rape. They say there's a tape. Turns out he wasn't even there.
Right.
It was completely made up.
And now the Chiefs have him,
It cost them a lot of money. The Eagles lost their punter right before the Super Bowl a few years back. Wouldn't touch him, despite the fact he was just sitting right there. So, because of that, when I see, heinous allegations being thrown, especially at people in the entertainment community that means so much to the Bob Sturms and the Blake Jones of the world, I waited. And I didn't rush to judgment. And I said, let's let the facts kind of sort themselves out here.
Okay, I know what you're doing here now.
Because we've given it a little time, and I'm not sure that things are getting better for the Impractical Jokers. Yeah.
Well, one of them, right?
Well,
actually, this was on the stack last week, and it fell off.
It's not one of them, buddy.
They got more than one of them in trouble?
Yeah, they do.
Have you at least enjoyed the memes, though?
Yeah.
Just they're behind the scenes saying, all right, now go have sex with an underage girl. Or whatever.
Now sex to teenager.
And then they laugh. Oh. Like, I was going to play Apology Bingo with one of them. I got to find it, see if I still have the info in front of me.
Probably Murr. I feel like Murr wrote a long apology. Because it's
Joe Gatto.
Joe and Murr both, who you've met. I've met him several times.
They were in studio?
Yeah. So in the case of Joe,
I've used poor judgment and as a result have violated the trust of people I love most. It's a TikTok user said he sexually assaulted her when she was 19. He said, so poor judgment, but anyone who knows me.
That's middle square.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who knows me at all knows full well that I wouldn't assault anyone.
Well, what's weird about it, Joe, is I knew you pretty well.
He was just joking.
I knew you. It was a bit impractical, Joseph. I knew you pretty well, and I didn't think you would be sending $35 Venmos to 16-year-old girls to make out with each other on TikTok either. And you did that.
Ouch.
Wow. Working on myself is an ongoing process.
Hold on. He can afford more than $35.
The funniest part is the teens in the video that said that he had they did like a 10-minute video where they say that he encouraged them to kiss, asked them to lift their shirts, and stroked their stomachs. They allege he messaged them in Instagram's vanish mode, and they also showed a screenshot of a Venmo, $35 from Joe G, that says gas and Chipotle. You didn't even have to put anything, do you? Maybe I don't know, but.
Just in case
$35.
someone sees my thing.
Yeah.
I've used poor judgment. Or wait, no. Where was I? Oh, working on myself is an ongoing process.
Yes.
And I'm now going to take some time away from the public eye to focus my energies where I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, she put out, like, DM screenshots, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
So that's Joe. There's another one in trouble?
Yeah, a couple days after that, when it rains, it pours pedophilia because James, one of the other stars of Impractical Jokers, he got a Reddit user accused him of exchanging inappropriate messages with her when she was 16. He was 35 at the time. Oh, shit. I just forgot about a great thing from Weekend Check. I will get to in a minute because it pertains to this. In one message, Murr wrote, haha, you're awesome. Once you turn 18, email me the same question and I'll be happy to answer. When the girl teased him about staying single until she came of age, he replied, I'll do my best, I promise. The user, who identified herself as Melissa, claimed the two also exchanged messages about explicit topics, including dildos, and even said I love you to each other.
That's nice.
So,
sometimes it's difficult for men to say I love you. You should just give them credit for that.
Scenes from the sauna this weekend.
You heard the word dildo and something triggered in your head?
Ironically, there were two things I heard. Wait until she's 18 to get married, and the Impractical Jokers. Because if you guys recall, the last time I did Sauna Talk, it was just a guy sitting in the sauna watching Impractical Jokers on his phone at max volume.
God.
I go in there this weekend. It is 7:06 on Saturday morning. That place opens at 7. Let me tell you who's there at 7. At 6:55, waiting outside like they're buying tickets at a Foley's in 1998. Seniors. And let me tell you what else those people do is they talk. So when I get to the sauna 5 minutes after they open, there's already 3 people in there. They're all old, and they're all talking. There's an older lady and an older guy talking, and the older lady, her husband is involved in some sort of men's group that takes missionary trips to Belize. There's like a camp down there, possibly even an orphanage. And her husband works with this organization. Then they started talking about another organization that her husband is interested in, which is like a local youth sports thing that involves the church. And that is run by a woman that I gathered was in about her 30s, maybe 20s that they were speaking about. Now, the male counterpart in this situation, again, he's probably 60s. He's like, oh, yeah, I've met her, the one running the sports program at the church. I've known her since she was a little kid. I've been friends with her daddy. She's just the sweetest kid, man. I've known her since she was a little kid. I used to tell her when she was a little girl that I'd wait to get married until she turned 18. She was so sweet. I'm like, bro, you're talking in public out loud right now.
Certainly creepy.
You don't admit to a Grover or Cleveland plan in public we're in a sauna. And the funniest part is they were talking about church. He's like, yeah, I'd love to go on that mission trip with your husband. Also, I know the girl who runs the sports thing. I've wanted to fuck her since she was 4. Like, who would just say that out loud? I would be so embarrassed to tell somebody, yeah, I had my eyes on you in kindergarten.
I mean, is that just
some generational weird thing? The lady didn't even flinch.
Can it be it's just a way of giving a compliment that you are like saying to, I bet all the boys are going to be going crazy once.
Don't say that.
Don't even say that to a 4-year-old?
No. Don't say it.
That's like
to a 13-year-old.
It is basically saying you're hot.
Yeah.
I can tell you're hot right now as you're 8.
No,
and you're going to be driving the boys crazy. But you've heard that, right?
Perhaps you think it. You might even think about your own kid. Like, this kid's attractive. This is going to be a problem. You don't in public say, you know what I was thinking about 25 years ago? That 6-year-old.
Yeah.
I was just it was bizarre to me that I was actually listening to this in person. But in the case of
that's where you should have piped in and been like, bro, 16 in Texas. Then give him a little high five.
Yeah, somebody always does need to be that guy. Probably should have shut it down there, but that's only one news story. But anyways, it appears they're falling apart. They're both taking time away from Impractically Joking. Word is they may have to bump Anthony Davis up to the A-team and have him be
You didn't say they had...
Him and Jared Vanderbilt just have to be the full-time Impractical Jokers.
You didn't say they took episodes down.
Yeah, so Max...
This hurts.
Max has apparently pulled some episodes.
Now they only have like 4 million episodes to replay?
Yeah, right.
Apparently they're taking episodes down where Joe's in a Speedo, which...
Yeah,
how many episodes have they done?
Oh, my God.
Like, it's literally 1,000, isn't it?
I mean...
They're always on.
You can't stop gold. You know that.
Listen to what it says here, to Dan's point. Episodes 9 and 24 from the 4th season, 12 from the 7, and 16 and 25 from season 8 were all pulled. Like, are we talking about 500 episodes?
261.
Good grief. Some of the episodes, as Blake said, show the Speedo. Some just show the Jokers being inappropriate.
Yeah, they're beating. I'd rather watch every Dude Perfect over and over and over and over.
Dude.
Than
and
any.
You trying to tell me Dude Perfect is better than Impractical Jokers?
No.
So much
Listen,
better.
This is
funnier.
This is bad, dude. This is I tell you what this is. This is like when you in MySpace when you're like, I'm gonna quit drinking, and you're like, and I'm gonna quit vaping, and I'm gonna quit, and somebody's like, whoa, just do the one thing. There's no need for you in this moment of shitting on Impractical Jokers.
There is a need
to say that Dude Perfect has any value at all.
It puts
you're
a
panicking,
bar somewhere.
You're emotional. It feels good to say F this, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to keep going.
I'm helping.
They're worse than. There's no need. You're getting over your skis.
I'm doing
They
great.
both suck, and the only difference right now is we only know one of them for sure has pedophiles in it.
Bite your tongue. Dude Perfect, they're on my Griffey list.
I don't know, man. It's been a lot of time around little boys.
I think that they are genuinely good people. but you can't be shocked if they have a sex-related scandal because it does tend to happen in the church a lot.
I really would with those guys for some reason.
They seem like
They
good
actually
people.
seem great.
It's not a judgment on their content, which is dog shit, but they do seem like good people.
I'm just saying I met them. I've watched their videos.
They're Aggies, though.
They're Aggies. They're good. They're good folk. They might have filled that jar together.
Yeah,
wouldn't
and I
put
mean,
that-
wouldn't
Wouldn't put that past them, but that don't put
Year
me on my
3 of the
grateful
Dumb
list.
Zone. We need a real jar.
No, we don't.
I have an Aggie jar.
To take it to remotes, be like, look, if you want it,
Donate to the Dumb Zone.
It's the bad beat jar. Like, there'd be no worse beat than using our Aggie jar, bro.
but there'd be so many people who would be excited about it. We could send it around like the robot people were supposed to be kind to in Philadelphia that they destroyed. Just take a picture with the jar and hand it off to a buddy.
So, yeah, that's the future. You'll have a robot that looks like that Lily Phillips or whatever. Was that her name?
She was one of them, yeah. Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips.
One of the ladies that's taken 100 dudes and have that robot go across the nation, and you have to put it in the
Deposit?
robot. Yeah. It's like kind of a blow-up doll type robot, but it's like a Black Mirror robot here. And
Is
then
it
that's
just-
the Aggie jar.
I feel like a blow-up doll will lose structural integrity as it travels across the nation.
I'm just
full
saying,
of
like the aura of what a blow-up doll is for, but
Right.
now with robotics and the
like a receptacle of sorts.
but the futuristic, like it has to be like Black Mirror, like it's a human basically. You
Okay.
think it's a human, but her voice is Blake's voice.
Buc-ee's is in the news. You see this every so often. I honestly have no clue how trademark or copyright law work at all. It seems that sometimes you'll hear about somebody trademark something that you're like, the letter J? I thought that was kind of for everyone. And then, I don't know, you'll learn about others that you can't trademark. For
Ohio
some
State with the.
Yeah. Well, in this case, we've got a copycat because a local coffee and food shop in Marshfield, Missouri, has been sued by Buc-ee's. The name of the coffee place is Barkeys, B-A-R-C, and they use a dash E-E-S. And their logo, while not exactly the same, is in fact a beaver. Or maybe it's a dog. But it's something. It's a little animal, cartoon animal. Don't you feel like if you're Buc-ee's, you just be chill about this?
No.
Like it's one. I don't know if it's a handful of coffee shops. It's not even. It's not a chain. They don't sell gas.
Still, they're not going to be cool about that. I mean, wouldn't you think if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're not going to worry about TC selling a
That's
shirt
a good point.
with a star on it? Yet we got a cease and desist letter. Not the first one, or not the last one. I
Not
should
the
say.
last one at all. No. This comes after. This is actually really funny. In 2023, there were a couple viral videos. I guess so. There was a place in Mexico called Buck BUK -II, like so Buc-ee's, but they're using an I like an E, and that was in Matamoros, a store called Buc-ee's, and they just used the beaver logo but put a mullet on it.
Okay.
Just to indicate to you, like, this is the trashy one.
I like that.
But that's, Mexico, you just kind of let them get away with it. I don't know. I still think it's weird to go after Barkeys here. Why don't we make that, Dan, the news?
Okay.
Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
This is Mer.
Today in history is going to be brought to us by Bear Fight Whiskey. Generally, Saturday night will be my whiskey night now. Not with this particular bottle. The one we got downstairs is about half full. Or half empty, if you're a pessimist. But bearfightwhiskey.com is where you can order and get yourself one of these bottles. This one is just for show only, for the video that we do. Bearfightwhiskey.com, little smoky taste, if that's the thing you're into. Spicy, a little spicy. And I even caught a little vanilla in there. So I really like it. Never was much of a whiskey guy, but if you like a little something, maybe like me, on the weekend, you're going to break that out. BearFightWhiskey.com. It's an award winner. BearFightWhiskey.com. Here's to embracing your bear fights. Raise a glass to all the bold challenges that come your way. At the Dumb Zone, we ask, what's your bear fight? Order Bear Fight Whiskey now at BearFightWhiskey.com. That's part of the copy there. I just read it.
You know how we were talking about
The Dumb Zone presents.
What?
We were talking about crossover events last week with like Chicago Fire and PD and Med.
Yeah.
I think the best possible crossover event would have been if they hooked up Chris Hansen and the Impractical Jokers, but like they didn't know.
Dang.
They're like, yeah, go in there, man. And
That'd be great.
They're like, no, Murs, sit down. Here's some lemonade. I have the chance.
Yeah, they're laughing.
Like doing
They think
wacky
everything's
shit.
hilarious.
Yeah, they're like, no, the deputies are literally outside.
Here, dial this number. Let's see if we get anything.
Okay.
I got a couple of viewer mail birthdays. And the number we dial is for, well, on the off chance he's watching the live stream, I won't say his name just yet. But I will tell you, it is the birthday of Nick Anselmo, who says, Dear Uncle Gruel Connoisseur.
Wonder if he's related to Pantera guy.
It's over there now.
Day 1 DF 523 Nick Anselmo.
Not Phil.
Sorry.
Hey, is this Taylor? Or excuse me, Landon?
Yes.
All right. So you were aware that we were going to call you?
I had a hint of it.
Okay, I thought she'd keep it quiet. Anyway, this is Landon Taylor. He is 27 years old, right?
Yes, correct.
So you're aware who we are?
Yeah, this is my heroes, you know.
Landon,
Been
you
waiting
old dirty
for this
dog.
moment for 2 years.
So this is the thing I was telling you about last week, Blake. I'm like, some lady was emailing me. And she was like, oh, thank you so much for doing this. He's going to love it. Can you make the video? For the video, he loves Dan's daughters roasting you. He needs you guys for Luca Mavs therapy. He learned about the Akatar series from Jake.
That's going to get you laid, Landon.
Ashley says she read it years ago. LOL. We just got engaged.
Oh, maybe not.
He also just lost his job in refugee resettlement because of the Trump administration. So lots of highs and lows lately. Ha ha. And then she goes, he's going to love it when you make this video. So I go to Blake and I'm like, did we agree to make some video? And Blake goes, oh, no, it's somebody hit me up on Instagram, and I just said that we'll shout him out on the show. And so, because I was going back and forth with this lady last week, and then so this weekend, like Sunday on his birthday that morning, she's like, hey, here's a reminder. Can you do the video?
Part of the former Mormon mafia there. You got to be careful.
So then I was like, whoa, I'm sorry. What if we called him on the show? And then she said, this would be amazing. He might die. And then she told you. I thought she'd keep this a secret and want to surprise
Well, she didn't
you.
want him to die.
Yeah, maybe that's
Well, yeah, I'm in Charleston, so I was walking towards the Ravenel Bridge over the port, and she told me this, and it sent me on my way back. Kept applying for jobs, found some hope again. You know?
All right, 27 years old, or you were 26 when you did it. How did you get engaged?
We actually had a big family trip planned to Gay Paris, so I did it there a couple weeks ago.
Okay, see, that's the thing. You have to, like, that's part of your culture now, right? This generation, you couldn't just have asked her in your apartment.
No.
Like, you have to do a bit. No. You have to have pictures. You have to have a thing.
It started with the promposals, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Explain. What is that?
I'm a part of the generation that definitely everyone had to make a big sign and make a big deal about asking someone to prom. So
Yeah.
I think it's just built up.
I did not know that existed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
I would
huge
say in the
now.
last 10 years, you're
terrible.
not just asking somebody to prom with a note.
Oh my God.
You're begging.
Yeah. The mini suitors. Let me see the multimedia package that you've produced for me. Like you're pitching Dwight Howard in free agency.
But much like these marriage proposals, I would think if you're ready to do something and have a photographer jump out of the bushes, you both already kind of know.
Yeah.
But the prom thing, one of those things is you might ask somebody that doesn't really suspect you.
Yeah, but
And
I
now
think
you can't-
probably people mostly do it with their girlfriend, and they make a
So
big
it's all
show out of it.
performative.
Yeah, of course.
So none of this really is necessary.
Well, I mean, it makes women and perhaps men feel good. And maybe it's you get
you
one
want
of
to
those
make
things
women
done,
feel
and then
good
you can
so
do that later.
Yeah, you could feel good. Yeah, the only reason we're doing any of this stuff
So what's
is for sex.
Were you with like a federal agency, Landon? What was your refugee situation?
I was community engagement with Lutheran Services Carolinas. So they're a subsidiary. Basically, they get told by the federal government who's coming here. You know, they're all the people eating the dogs and the cats. That's
Right.
That's who I was helping.
Right. What do you think? We got any leads now that you're not going to jump off that bridge? What are we looking at here?
27. So hoping, last option before the bridge is grad school, but definitely just looking for work right now.
Listen, not a bad idea, my friend.
Jake went that route.
Listen, when you see, I swear to God, you can actually see this in application statuses. When you see the economy about to do a little economying, see if you can find a law school or a grad school to ride that shit out for like 3 years, and you can re-enter the job market.
Yeah, I feel like it would look really good next to the political science major right above my trash can.
Yeah, but, you were helping people or something.
Boy, he is going the Jake route, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You a drinker?
having to cut back early on that one. I already see that route going down that one.
Yeah, okay.
Well, happy birthday, Landon.
Yeah. Tell
Thank
Ashley what's up for us.
Yeah, tell her I said sorry.
Yeah, she's a hard worker. I'll tell her she has to submit a picture now. So.
Ooh,
Hey,
there we go.
wait, though. Quick
Them's are the
question here.
rules.
Do former Mormons, are they as appreciative as former PFWs or homeless folk?
POWs?
What'd I say?
PFW.
PFW.
What's
POWs?
PFW?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in my case, for sure.
All right, ready to party.
Good to know.
Excellent.
Good
All
to
right,
know.
send us some pictures of that too.
Or video.
Thank you all so much.
Happy soaking.
Real quick, I just want to say I was terrified. Jake hopped behind me one time at a Chapo Trap House filming in Dallas, and I was using the restroom, and he just says, the great Graham Harrell. While I'm taking a piss and, your leader walks up to you at the urinal, you don't know what to do. So I just shook his hand, but was hoping for a bit more next time.
I'm sorry, we were in the bathroom. I shouted out the fact that you were wearing a Graham Harrell jersey in 2023.
I just wanted a bit more next time, maybe,
All right, well, next time, why don't you keep that thing out, and I'll suck you off right there in the bathroom, Landon. Jesus, what do you want?
Thank you.
It's not your birthday every day, pal. Now I see why your wife's beaten. Everywhere you go, you're like...
Hey, she's not the wife yet, so she can still escape.
That's true.
All
Happy
right, dude.
birthday, man.
Thank y'all.
Dear Osama bin Bustin, today is my son... my son Dean's future Browns legend Dak Prescott birthday.
Oh, please.
Dean, that's a good name. That's a cool name people aren't using much anymore.
His leaders are Bruce Drennan's accountant, Shitlib Jake,
Yeah, man.
and the rehab vape thief.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Meth Sturgill.
He wants less Blake parenting advice and more TC. F. Nico, Free Luigi from Clayton.
That's a solid email.
And dearest Moose Knuckle Muppeteer, today is the birthday of my girlfriend Shonda. She will certainly be giving me a mouth hug while we're listening to this episode.
Jeez.
Establish the run guy gets her going.
Oh, man, she's in luck.
Leaders are me and surrogates' husbands who have a prego fetish. Les, Jake always being in a hurry to finish every segment and the pod. Just lay back and enjoy it, Jake. From Randy.
Okay, noted, Randy.
We didn't really talk about that angle. What if you're married to a surrogate?
Yeah, I do know the guy. I know Noviello's surrogates, who was her husband at the time. I guess we could ask him.
Yeah, you got to be into it.
We talked about that a lot after the show the other day. Just like the women were all talking about the number, and we're like, that ain't enough.
25 or
pocketing 25 per 9 months? Like, I don't know, man. Feels low.
I got one more. It just came in.
But the market's kind of telling them it's not that hard, though. So that's tough. Sorry, Dan. Yeah, I saw one come in, too.
This came in during the show. Birthday shout-out to Matt Bankhead.
Yeah.
Good dude.
A.K.A. Big Bank.
Big Bank.
Our token real one, the blackest white guy we know. He turns 38 today. We were in the den the Friday before Texas OU last year. Red River stories were being told off the air. Bankhead tells the story about the time he was in college at the Cotton Bowl and insulted our friend's mother so badly at the game he had to write her a letter to apologize. Dan then offered him a cold Lone Star beer, and he sheepishly replied, I can't really drink anymore.
The funny thing is, I saw that whole thing playing out. Like, I could tell the guy was turning down beers, and he's like, yeah, I used to black out, and I yelled at my friend's mom, and it was really bad. Dan's like, toss him a beer.
Is this after Hab?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're like...
I knew this. Yeah.
We got a little radar.
Spidey sense.
Yeah, for sure.
This is from his P1 DZ group chat boys.
Meet Grady. Happy birthday, Bankhead. That's a good group right there.
Elsewhere, so it's Monday, March 31st. This is Today in History. Tomorrow we got a little, what do you call it? MBR, correct?
Yes.
Oh, heck yeah.
Either that or I'll tell you about the history of April Fool's Day. I haven't decided yet.
Take it easy. On this day in 1976, the New Jersey Supreme Court ruled that Karen Ann Quinlan, she was a woman in a persistent vegetative state. She could be disconnected from her respirator. So she was disconnected and then lived another 9 years. They're like, God damn it.
No way. For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Died in 1985.
Aren't you pissed if you're her? Like, we could have done this however long ago?
Well, I mean, if you're the family, you're like, I got to keep paying for it. Oh, man. I don't want to keep paying for this anymore. Let's unplug it. So they unplugged it. She's like, guess what, though? I'm not going to die.
I need to talk to our business guy and get all that squared away. Our lawyer. Like the what happens when you die stuff. A lot of feedback on that the other day. It turns out, if you listen to the Dumb Zone, you've meticulously thought through keeping your wife from accessing your social media accounts when you die.
Nice.
Hey, no, a buddy of mine told me about this website.
So this is weird. On this day in 1976, that's when they ruled about Karen Ann Quinlan. On this day in 2005, Terry Schiavo died 13 days after her feeding tube was removed in a right-to-die court fight. Turns out if you stop feeding them, that's the way to go. That's all you had to do with Karen Ann Quinlan.
You know what a lot of people don't know, Dan? Before you did have to feed her with a tube, Terry Schiavo, very attractive woman. Just, they don't ever use that photo. Like, they always use her.
The dying photo?
It's not even just a dying photo. They were like, oh, look, she's making that face that she makes sometimes. Okay. Like, get that one. It's just a rude photo. I don't know.
I'll just keep going the death theme. Usually we do this at the end, but on this day in 1995, Selena, fatally shot.
Hey, you know what? I got a great idea.
At the Days Inn in Corpus Christi.
This lady, who seems a little shady, owes me thousands of dollars. What if I go meet her solo at her hotel room at a Days Inn at night? No, I'm dead.
You know what? I have some info on the Selena killer, but I'm going to hold that for a subscription-only podcast. What do you think of that?
I think you should debate whether. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's better than what I thought you were going to do, which was share that information right now before we talked about it.
If I ever do release it, because Jake's probably going to convince me not to, it's going to be on a subscription only because it's explosive stuff.
It really is.
And another death on this day in 2019, Nipsey Hussle.
Oh.
Discovered by LeBron.
Yeah, that's right.
And if only LeBron was there.
Now, you're
save
confusing
him.
two very funny stories, but I do think part of the LeBron Nipsey Hussle thing is that Nipsey Hussle was like, I have like 30 songs. I can't put these all on an album. And LeBron's like, you sitting down? What if you do a deluxe album? You put all 30 on there. Nipsey Hussle, you would like his story, Dan.
Who's the one he said he was listening to in the Heat
Migos.
locker room? Okay, but they weren't even like, there was nothing out. You would have had a mixtape or a
even then, you would have had to live in Atlanta.
Okay. On this day in 1995, the movie Tommy Boy opened.
I heard it's getting 4K for the anniversary.
This is a 30-year anniversary is today. That's why I'm
30,
bringing it up. Jake, exciting day, man. I remember this day.
Okay,
we were at the ticket and Jake came
Glenn
over to
Humplick
me. Jake told
left the Tom
me
Green show, or
I would be out of a radio job within 2 years.
Bucky Lasik left Birdhouse, or
he said the ticket will cease to exist. In fact, most radio will cease to exist because on this day, Air America.
Oh my God!
Launched. It was intended as a liberal voice in network talk radio, and Jake is like, "Bro,
this is it.
Garofalo's gonna eat your lunch."
Man, sorry about my foot. That
the network faulted it, and
God, it sucked so bad. And it was, I'm glad they tried it though, because it really just drove home how boring and unlikable most of the talking heads on the left were. God, look at this murderer's row of annoying people. You know what's funny? One of their hosts
is Mark Maron in one of them?
Was RFK.
Oh yeah, that is funny.
From his longtime Democratic voting record. Garofalo, Mark Maron, of course, Rachel Maddow, Jerry Springer, Chuck D. The Young Turks had a show there. That show's not bad, but in general, yes, it's just boring.
And on this day in 2014, Conan did his show here at the Dallas Majestic Theater.
I was so excited for that.
Did you go?
No, it was very hard to get into.
Adam Sandler and Tig Notaro were guests. So they wanted somebody that was funny, and then they had to have something to balance the scales out.
I would have walked out. I mean, I guess I would have known. I'm not a fan of Tig Notaro's.
Not funny at all.
At all.
Dirk also was on the show.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And a famous wedding on this date in 1996, Clint Eastwood marries news anchor Diana Ruiz. Here's her name. He is 65. She is?
38.
50.
30.
Oh,
wow.
Man, I don't know why. I had hope.
35-year age difference. But she's 30. Is that okay? Like, if she was 29, that would feel weirder. Like, all right, she's 30.
You want to hear a weird story? So they got divorced in 2014. So what did that give them? 18 years of marriage?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She was married a year to a year and a half later to someone named Scott Fisher, who is an Australian basketball player, or former, and basketball coach. Because I was thinking, like, what do you do? You're replacing Clint Eastwood. Like, he can't be like Rob Schneider's character from the Home Team movie where he's just, like, drinking green juice.
Yeah, but he's now 80.
Right.
Dude, he's still, like...
He's still Clint.
He's still Clint Eastwood. At least this guy's, like, from Australia and plays sports. Two things that are generally cool.
Like, whoever has my wife next is going to have a great time.
Well, I mean,
'Cause
the thing is,
replacing me is going to be easy.
no, the guy after you will
Because
immediately
I'm an asshole
seem-
and I got a small wiener. So it's going to be like,
well, I mean, if nothing else, I was going to say, yeah.
she's
like-
going to be like, I can't believe this can be so great. That life can be so good.
No, the guy after you, his sex
I had to
drive.
ride the riding lawnmower every week. You wouldn't believe it.
His sex drive will be viewed like along the lines of Ron Jeremy. Like just by merely being interested every now and then.
Yeah.
She's like, stay off me.
Right.
We already did it this quarter.
Ooh, quarterly.
He wants to eat
It's a bit much.
at a different restaurant every day. Blows her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you don't have to go to the same place every
Is that
day?
a different place? But then would you be mad
You
if
can eat after 5:30?
what if she starts cooking and cleaning?
Oh, my God. She, of course, will.
Dude. That is such a sad scene when it happens. Like, so I have a buddy who got divorced. He was the first one of us who got divorced early. And it was a girl we went to high school with. We all knew each other through college. So when they were together, they both had jobs. But then she did not have a job towards the end. And they got divorced. And then her second marriage, she hasn't had a job at all. And she's turned into like a mommy blogger. So this woman who was essentially, she earned her keep, but she was not a homemaker. She was not helpful at all. Once she got married a second time, now she's like fucking Miss Instagram video of like, and here's how we make she's nothing but just homemaker extraordinaire. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like we were.
It's kind of like being a kid and seeing your dad get remarried, and then the second kid never gets spanked with a belt and gets this cool stuff, and like, his dad plays catch with him, and it's like you're just looking over there going, oh, he sees how to do it right now. He made those mistakes early, but I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm not upset about it at all. I never think of it. Elsewhere, T.J. Bass, 26.
Cowboy?
Current Cowboy. You might be seeing and hearing a lot more about him in the coming weeks.
I hope not.
He looks so much like the prototype or prototypical offensive lineman. It's scary. Like if you just see a picture of T.J. Bass, if you didn't know, you're
Kempspin?
Oh, is there?
No, wasn't there a guy they drafted a couple years
Josh
ago?
Ball.
Yeah, he's
Ball,
gone.
yeah.
He's gone.
Ball and Bass similar. Former Dallas star Michael Ryder, 45.
That's where she got the name?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a popular name.
Oh.
Former Ranger Jeff Mathis, 42.
Boy, I barely remember that. Catcher?
Jordan Mailata is 28.
Super Bowl champion.
Pavel Bure, 54.
Man.
Molly Querum is 41. The First Take host. And I'm only mentioning her, actually. I probably wouldn't have put her on this list. I didn't know, though. Married to Jalen Rose.
Yeah. Well,
you know that?
Divorced.
Oh, are they
separated? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. Can I follow up Jalen Rose? Could you marry me? Could she hook up with me and be impressed at all?
She wouldn't be worried about you hooking up with anyone else, which I promise you is always a concern with Jalen Rose.
If Jalen Rose is on the road for a couple
she's
weeks.
not having to check your Fitbit at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there he is. There he is.
But she also won't be upset if it's just porn.
No.
Scott Pioli is 60.
Patriot Tree, Chiefs, and man,
kind of sucked with the Chiefs. Didn't he run them into the ground?
Yeah, he ran them into the ground. I guess you could say that. And,
the one guy that killed himself.
Yeah, he had that
right
little dust off where he had to watch Javon Belcher kill himself in the parking lot in front of him, and I think there was a coach there. He didn't make the all-death team, by the way.
Oh.
Linebacker's a pretty stacked spot.
Yeah.
If you really start pouring through it.
Kate McCucci is 45.
Dan.
Good friend from Garfunkel and Oates. Blake, you ever hear of the Partridge Family?
Not a chance.
The mom on the Partridge Family is 91, Shirley Jones.
Romeo Crennel was there.
Herb Alpert is 90.
Also Dan, I think.
Really?
You know who he is?
The trumpet player?
Yeah, the jazz band leader, is he? Would you say?
Tijuana Brass.
Tijuana Brass.
Christopher Walken is 82. Bert. Is that Bert, Michael? All right. Severance. Gabe Kaplan is 81 from a show called Welcome Back, Kotter, Blake, which starred John Travolta when he was a teenager. Al Gore. How old would you guess Al Gore is? Knowing he ran for president 1, 2, 3.
You could just say the number
4
of years ago it
ago.
was.
4 presidents ago.
But you just say 2000.
4.
It's 25. It's easy.
I just didn't know what year he did it.
It was also not that. It's also he ran in the easiest year to ever remember, 2000. He didn't run in 38. I'm going to say Al Gore right now is 74.
78.
He looks good.
So still younger than Biden and Trump.
What was
all
his
that,
claim?
all that baby adrenochrome.
Made the internet?
Yeah, and everybody, you can read a deep dive article on it. He didn't really do that, but whatever.
He looked at the internet.
What he did do is get bully ball bitched around by Bush and his lawyers and forever negatively alter the trajectory of the country, but at least he was playing fair. Pussy. Seriously, that's where it all started, right?
No, the party of playing fair.
That like, oh no, we're not gonna. I don't think we're allowed to do this.
That's
like, okay.
What kind of a message would that send to the world?
Ay ay ay.
Rhea Perlman is 77.
I do like her quite a bit. I think she's really funny.
Ewan McGregor is 54 from Train Spotting.
Ewan McGregor. What else is he in that I like?
You ever heard of the show called Knight Rider, Blake?
Yeah, I think so.
Come on.
What is it?
About a car or something?
That's right. David Hasselhoff.
And his car, Kit.
Drove this car. The voice of Kit is William Daniels, and he's 98.
Who is played, who is also the actor who plays Mr. Feeney.
In?
Boy Meets World.
All right.
That was a staple of our youth. And obviously, did you already say Hasselhoff? You did, right?
I said he's the main guy in that show. And Brian Tyree Henry, 43.
Is that Tyrese?
That's Paperboy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right on.
Born on this Day Now Dead, Gordie Howe and Mark Tooney. Dead on this Day Still Dead, Isaac Newton and Jesse Owen.
Give me a year, Blake.
And
Isaac Newton.
Was today
So
in
any
history.
year Isaac Newton was, what did he discover? Gravity?
Is it Gravity?
Like he's
Laws of
sitting
Motion,
under
I know that one.
Apple's tree and an apple fell on his head, or is that William Tell?
Let's just say science, physics, gravity, laws of motion, what year?
Any year that he was alive. He lived to be 84, so you have an 84-year span.
1650.
Damn. Born in 1643, dead in 1727. Run the Ball Blake is today's champion.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe this comment that someone just emailed us, because I have my email open during the show. Somebody on our Twitch stream commented, I love this show. It is sort of a shock to see and listen to 3 normal Americans. I need to stop watching Fox News.
All right.
Cool.
And this
America.
guy said, you guys are like the Ted Lasso of modern day.
Oh.
3 normal Americans is what we need. I think it's because Blake used that slur earlier, honestly. Everybody's like, okay, warming up to these guys a little bit.
Good job,
right,
Blake.
Adios.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
The handout. Yeah.
He's a run the ball guy. He likes it real simple. Fuck your new age thinking. The play don't need a wrinkle. Belly left, belly right. Blue 22 hut. He don't fuck with your reality. He takes it up the gut. What's his name, bitch? Mr. Blake Jones. He's getting 4 yards running off the tackle through the zone. Who's the run the ball guy? Mr. Blake Jones. He's getting 4 yards running off the tackle through the zone. I formation, hit the line with penetration. Game plan from the 50s for every situation. Oh, you got some new idea, 5 wide in the gun. Fuck that shit, he's establishing the run. 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 The handoff, the handoff.